for the weekly fun. And boy, we got a show for you tonight. We have some news, some reviews, and some really interesting other stuff. So, and one of the fun things is tonight, rather than the usual 3 games, we have like 7 of them. Well, there's 6, but Zach and I actually only managed to get 1 in common this week. So we've both got some separate stuff. I've got like 4 games that are mine, and he's got 2 other, and he's got 3. So it's going to be kind of an interesting thing. All right. But first, the news. Hey, Zax. All right. So first, the news. You guys may be paying attention if you've been watching the mainstream media at all, and I know some of you don't. Hey there. It's lovely atheist Catherine. How you doing?
Hey, glad Catherine, man.
Glad to see you too, Mello. But hey, we're gonna. Somebody was actually. It looks like somebody was watching. Was waiting for the stream to start. We just went live, and she wasn't paying. She wasn't looking. All right. So.
None. Yeah, we just started, buddy. You haven't missed nothing.
You haven't missed it. You haven't missed a thing. We're actually just going to do some news, and then we're going to do some reviews and stuff there. And we're going to wrap up with a couple of Greenlight comments. So, you guys may or may not have been watching them lately, and if you have, you'll know that twice in 2 days, twice in 2 days, we have had earthquakes in Japan, on the island of Kyushu. 6.24 shock and a 7.2 just a little earlier today. Be thinking about those folks, because I know there's been a lot of people that have been injured, and probably a few people that are, well, not so alive anymore. So they may need help. And if that's something that you can spare, the American Red Cross would absolutely love you guys.
Yep, and that's not just the people that have been lost that are definitely dead, but all their families and friends and people that care about them. I mean, one life can affect literally hundreds of people. So prayers go out to them.
All right, and certainly our thoughts over here with them as well. Sorry about that. We're just having a little technical difficulty of the very short variety. Big happy birthday to my wife over there. She is somewhat older now, I won't say.
Happy birthday, Kange's wife. Happy 20th birthday.
That's her 21st birthday. Get it straight.
21st birthday, yeah.
Your 21st birthday with several years of experience. I won't say how many, because that would be telling. Yeah, Belle is older today. So, yep. If you guys haven't got your tax returns, if you guys here in the U.S. haven't got your tax returns filed, you might want to get on that. You only got about 3 hours on the left coast to get those postmarked or be completely screwed.
Yep, definitely tax day, April 15th.
April the 15th. Oh, and everybody say hello to 1975 for me. Okay, moving on. In other news, Mr. Zaxter has a little bit of a thing. Had a little bit of a thing here yesterday with somebody. Zach, it's your story. You tell it.
Hey, yeah. So anybody that's been watching me, watching my stream, was hit with a copyright strike by another developer. Just actually opened up an email just a minute ago. What happened is I got another strike, which if you don't know anything about it, really any YouTuber that ever gets there's 2 ways to that companies or developers can hit a YouTuber who puts out a video. A real common way is for like content that covers a game or a song when music is in the background. And what happens is essentially they will file a copyright, or it'll go against the automatic copy for, it goes through an automatic detection anytime you upload a video. And if any song matches or any kind of video matches content already uploaded to YouTube's content ID system, it'll come back as an automatic match, and it'll basically give the song composer or whoever any monetization you have for your ads. That's the most common way. But the second way is when a developer or somebody doesn't like a video, they will try to take a video down. And the most common way for video games is when you have a developer that doesn't like a negative review about their game made by, for example, Digital Homicide not liking Jim Sterling's review of its Slaughtering Grounds, if you know about that one. So some kind of thing here has happened to me about eight or nine times now with the reviews that I've done, and developers will go and say it's a copyright strike, and it immediately comes down off my YouTube channel, and that's why they do it, to get the video removed. And then it's a real pain in the butt, because as a YouTuber, I have to go in and I have to give, basically YouTube all my personal information, my address, my full name, my phone number, everything. And I can put myself up for harassment, for all kinds of things when I do that. But the reason YouTube does that is to cover their ass and, against a lawsuit or whatever.
The Digital Millennium Copyright Act, folks. This is an abuse thereof, and I want to know, where's the fair use?
It isn't fair, and that's the thing. I mean, it's not fair at all, because here it is. Anybody, any of you guys out there watching me, anybody can go in and say, you know what? I don't like this YouTuber. For example, I'm not real fond of PewDiePie or, of another YouTuber, whatever. I could essentially, me myself, could go in and say, you know what? I'm going to file copyright claims, total bullshit copyright claims, mind you. I could go in and say, you know what? And just pick 3 random videos of PewDiePie, for example, and say, hey, these are copyright material that I own, even though they're absolutely not. Okay? Wouldn't matter. PewDiePie, if he got 3 strikes, if you get 3 copyright strikes, those copyright strikes, when I claim them, those immediately hit him, and his whole channel would be knocked out like that. Now, because he's so big, YouTube might say, well, let's look into this a little bit more. But let's say Kage. Let's say I didn't like Kage. I could definitely go in and I could pick 3 videos at random, say, hey, these are all copyrighted, even though they're not, and get his whole channel taken down. And he would have to go through a world of hell to try to get his account back up. And it's total BS, because even if he went through that world of hell, right, and, missed out a month or 2 months or 6 months of YouTube time, couldn't make any videos, wouldn't have a channel, and he finally, fought it, and I didn't take him to court or whatever, well, he got his channel back up. Then what happens to me for falsely accusing him of copyright? Nothing. Nothing happens. Unless he takes me to small claims court.
Despite the fact that it's a federal crime to perjure yourself, you're actually considered to be under oath when you file a DMCA strike.
Yep.
Nobody seems to be getting prosecuted for this, and that's just wrong.
It is where it's wrong. Yeah. Not only that, as a YouTuber, I don't get really any information from these guys that are from these developers that are filing these strikes on me. All I get is an email address of theirs. I have to give them my full name, my address, my phone number, all this information, so they can potentially sue me or harass me or a million other things to get it, to get the copyright strike, which cripples my YouTube channel, back up. And still, it takes 2 weeks. If I don't do that, it takes 6 months. I have to wait 6 months for that strike to fall off. And then the
crippling process is as follows. You can't upload anything more than 15 minutes. You can't live stream. You can't do all this other stuff.
And says, what has happened? I joined and Zax was yelling, screw the strike. Yeah, it's just bogus. Man, I'm just, it's getting really old on my channel. I don't mind somebody wanting to take down a video when it's legitimate. If I do something wrong, that's fine. But when it's just these crappy ass indie developers that are pissed off because I review one of their crappy games negatively, and they do this, and it gets really old. I get really tired of fighting it, and it's almost to the point where I've thought about just completely not doing reviews anymore and just doing let's plays and stuff like that, because it'd be a lot simpler, because that's all that ever hits me is these developers who come up with a crappy game and don't like a negative review. It's always the same thing that I'm having to fight. But I was able to get my channel back up. I did make a second channel today, this morning. I didn't think the guy would revoke the strike that he put on me, but I did get him to revoke the strike because I threatened to expose him. if he didn't, and who he was and what he did. So he did revoke the strike today, so I won't have to use that secondary channel yet. But it will be good next time one of these guys, comes with a strike at me. I can just move over to the second Zach's 399 gaming channel. So it's already there. And some of you guys may have already subscribed to me on that secondary Zach's 399 channel. So thank you for that.
I did.
Yep.
Also note that I already have a second channel for this for this purpose. It is called Shadow Gaming. There is nothing on it at the moment, but it's there if I need it. All right. On to the next piece of news. You guys may have been seeing the thing I have displayed here on Steam Greenlight. Reginald's Nightly Duties. And this probably doesn't sound familiar to any of you. They just put it up on Greenlight here a couple of days ago, on the 13th. I'm going to click on no thanks, not interested, just to make them pay for it. This is a digital homicide game, and if anybody's been paying attention to what they've been doing on what they've been doing of late, or saw the stream that I did with Mello a few days ago. I don't think I've talked. I don't think it was up then. No, it wasn't up then.
Yeah, that was Monday when we did that.
Yeah, that was Monday when we did that.
Yeah, Mello, that's true. Mello says that he decided not to make YouTube videos because he wanted to avoid getting copyright strikes, but developers can still call it harassment in his reviews. You talking about on Steam, Mello? I'm sure he's talking about on Steam.
Yeah, they do that. So let's have a look at Reginald's Nightly Duties. All right, this is Steam Greenlight trailer for Reginald's Nightly Duties. Some nice, lovely music that's probably not going to be present in the game. Okay. This one here is 1 minute and 11 seconds, and then I'm going to show you another one, just real quick. Right. Because Digital Homicide has done a thing that they should not have done, and they should, at this point, by now, they should know better. We've already called them out on this particular behavior before, and this is gonna be really, and you'll see it without question. So a couple of you already know about this. I've already talked to you about it. Mello and Nunya, I know have seen this. I don't know if I showed this to you, Zach.
No, you have not showed it to me, Kage.
Okay. Okay. Now, you've seen. Now, this is here. Now, please note this object and the way things are set up. Nunion's actually referring to what they're doing. Okay. Now let's have a look at this one. Gnarltooth's Revenge. So, can anybody tell me what's going on here? What is it that I find so interesting about this one versus Gnarltooth's? Can anybody? Actually, you're the one that suggested that I have a look at it. It did look almost okay. It was at least vaguely pretty. This is a thing. This isn't actually an asset flip. It's more like what I like to think of as a project flip. They take a project that they've already done. They take out some or all of the assets. They put in new assets and then sell it as a completely different game. And that's the thing that they're trying to do here. See, the boss fight even looks almost identical. And Zach is off to a flying start here with a short phone call, probably from his lawyer. But yeah, that's kind of that's a thing that DigiHom has apparently decided they're going to do, and they expect us to go for it. And I have no idea what they think they're thinking, but that is unkosher. It's hovering heli game that Mello and I covered, Starship Nova Strike, that we covered on Monday. Those two games were released on, and Krog Wars we covered also. Those two games were released on Tuesday afternoon, as opposed to uh, one that was supposed to be out today and one was supposed to be out. The one was supposed to be out next Friday. So they're stabbing themselves. Yeah, I would think they would need a brain. I would think so, Nunya. I would think they would require a brain that they don't seem to have, but that's okay. These things do happen sometimes. It's entirely possible that Robert's wife is doing the thinking for them, what little they can actually accomplish. I'm not sure how much of a brain she's got, but probably more than Robert and James combined. Of course, at this point, I would expect better behavior from my 6-year-old than I would get out of James and Robert combined anyway. So, and of course, the sad part of it is these guys have children. Yeah, so don't send them nasty things. That would be bad. Okay.
And I'm back, by the way.
And welcome back. What do you think of this little stunt they're trying to pull there, Zach?
Well, it sounds a lot like what just happened with my copyright strike. And just reading this email now, what we have here is just what I was talking about. When somebody filed the copyright strike, I'm going to go ahead and say the name of the game here, which I wasn't going to do, because when I wrote them an email, I say, look, basically you take down your copyright strike against this game, that you got removed, this video that I made, a review video back on March the 8th of this year. I was like, if you remove this copyright strike, I won't expose you, is basically what it was. If you don't remove the strike, I'm going to expose you. Well, I'm going to go ahead and talk about it here because it's just what I was talking about. The developer for the game Grind Zones, a video that, let's go ahead and see here. If I can find it here, and I will show it here, you guys. It's like an 8-minute video, I know that. So let me see here. Wasn't going to show this on this live stream tonight, but let's go ahead and talk about it because it is pretty interesting.
Do I need to switch over here to you?
Yeah, go ahead and let me see it here. I'm just still looking for it here, and I will take it over here. Okay, full screen. Screen share. So hopefully you guys are all doing well tonight.
Yeah, we were just having a chat about Gnarltooth's Revenge versus Reginald's Nightly Duties being the same damn game with just with fresh purchased assets. And are you guys seeing this over there?
Grind Zones right here. This is the video.
Okay, good.
That was taken down. And you can look at it in Grind Zones. You can look it up on my channel. It is a 9-minute and 52-second video of I think it was a $5 game that I purchased. An RPG, looked pretty cool in the preview videos.
That's got that World of Warcraft thing going on.
Yeah, it definitely has that kind of a thing. And I quickly found out this was nothing but a very simple, boring game. And after I did a little bit more research, I found out that it was a really, it's one of those, it looked like it was one of those asset games, like Unity asset completed games where somebody buys a completed game for like 50 or $100 or 179 or whatever. I don't remember. And then changes a couple of things and, they sell the game.
Yeah, so the Unity Project Flip.
Yep, Unity Project Flip, and there's a lot of these on Steam nowadays. Well, so when I reviewed the game negatively, I don't even care if somebody buys a Unity asset game, that they modify and make it, as long as it's fun, as long as it's not boring, and as long as it's, worth the money to me. But this game is one that just wasn't there, and I don't remember what I scored it at. I don't think it scored real, but I know it wasn't a game that I recommended on Steam, even though I think it had about 60% positive reviews on Steam. There's my score, 32%. So what happened then is I had a copyright strike. This video was removed yesterday morning, and I had a copyright strike on my account, which basically, like we already talked about, crippled my account for 6 months. I can't make any videos over 15 minutes. I can't live stream, and a number of other penalties against my account. Just really cripples your account for 6 months unless you fight it, and then it takes at least 2 weeks to do that. So you have to give them all your information, and then they would have to give YouTube a official document number of a court case. They're filing a lawsuit against me within that 2-week period. If they don't, then my video comes back up. But again, it's a lot of hassle, everything like that. So anyway, I wrote them an email to the developer who filed the copyright against me, and I was like, look, let's take a look here. Let me do this. All right, so I want to do this. So I wrote them an email back, and I was like, look, remove the copyright strike. I said, I've been down this battle before. I said, if you don't remove the copyright strike, I'm going to expose you for, you crippling my YouTube channel. You got 24 hours is what I said, or I'm going to expose you for what you've done. And so right before the 24-hour mark today, they did remove the strike, as you see the videos back up here. So what I want to do now, guys, is I want to go ahead and show you. I will show you word for word the email that I just read. And so you guys might find this interesting. I don't know. Hopefully you guys find it more interesting than boring. But rather than give you all his information and email and stuff like that, I'm just going to let you guys read the email that was sent back to me. Because I think this is something worth talking about.
Zach?
Yeah.
Hit format.
Okay. Format?
No,
okay.
up above. Word wrap.
There you go.
That's there you go.
All right, that's a lot quicker. So anyway, they write, hello, Zaxter99. As I didn't know that it was a game review video, I thought it was a game promotion video. So let's go ahead and do this. Can you guys read that at all? Should I increase the size?
I can read it, but that doesn't mean anything.
Okay. I thought it was a game promotion video. So I talk back to YouTube. You can tell this guy's not English. YouTube, and republished your video. I claimed copyright because the game you're talking about, Grind Zones, is made from a source code stolen by other developer from us. The real name of the game is Oath of Genesis. For this reason, it was removed from Steam too. You can understand why I filed the claim report. Now, so what he's talking about is this guy doesn't even own Grind Zones. He's simply saying that the assets were stolen from him, and that's why he filed the copyright claim against it. And he's also asking that I remove this video for myself rather than have him try to do it. So he's not even the developer for this game, and he still filed a copyright strike against me and got it removed. That's what I was talking about. Anybody can file a claim on any freaking video whatsoever. I mean, without any, without even looking at it. He didn't even take time to look at it. He thought it was a game promotion video. That shows he obviously didn't even watch it. So it's just totally bogus. I mean, you have to. There was a court case back a few years ago. Kage, have you looked at it at all? Where the courts were like it was a music video that basically was a 30-second video of a lady who was showing her baby dancing in the kitchen, and in the background there was a Sony music video, playing in the background or something like that. And they filed a copyright strike against their video, got her video removed, and all this. Ended up going to court, and the courts basically said, the lady won that had the baby video because the court said, you know what, companies, before they start filing these strikes and taking people to court and all this, they need to start assessing a video before they file a copyright strike and asking themselves, is it fair use? And that's essentially how it works. So
they still don't do that. I still want to know, where's the fair use, people?
Yeah, it's not there. So, whatever. I don't know what you guys are thinking, or if you guys have questions about this, if this is boring to you. I mean, what's the deal, guys?
Well, Ant-Man still can't read it, apparently. It's still too small.
Still too small. Let me go ahead and increase it here. There you go. Yeah, Mello says going to court over a 30-second baby video is one of the dumbest things he's ever heard.
Well, and she was, and the thing is, the only reason I can think of she would have taken it to court was because she's right. The primary content involved there wasn't even the music; it was the freaking baby, and it was probably put up there so that family and friends could watch.
Yeah, so whatever. I'm not even going to deal with this anymore. This video has 89 views in the last month and a half. Nobody really cares about it. It's not, the game's not even on Steam anymore. Probably for this right here, stolen source codes and everything like that. I'm sure this guy, filed a claim against it through Steam. And that, remember Kage earlier, you was saying, I wonder why that game's not on Steam anymore.
Well,
it's probably right here. Source code is stolen, and I'm sure they reported it to Steam, and that's why Steam kicked it off their site.
Yep.
For grind zones. So this kind of crap is happening more and more on Steam, it looks like.
Mellow, this was Mellow. To answer your question, more than a month. It was put up on the 8th of March. March 8th of 2016 it was published, and the strike hit yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Or sometime night before last.
And it's not even a game on Steam anymore. I mean, I bought this game on Steam for like $5. Back the same day it launched. What did I do for a lot of games? I buy them the same day they launch and review them, let people know if they're worth it or not, give it a review, and give it my opinions. So because this game's not up on Steam anymore, because I don't want to deal with all this drama for this video, I'm sure I'll just remove this, video. So I'll probably remove it later tonight or tomorrow. So if you guys want to go and watch this for any reason, this particular review video, it's 9 minutes, 52 seconds, March the 8th, you guys can go look it up and watch it, whenever you want to after the stream or whatever. But I will leave it up tonight, and then I'll probably remove it tomorrow.
Okay.
So I think we've got that covered.
Yep.
Is there any questions about it, or it looks like people are just kind of listening?
Yeah, we got but then we were gathering opinions on Digital Homicide and their asset swap / project flip habits that they've been developing lately. Starship Nova Strike was a project flip of Hovering Helideath, Hovering Helideath is still on Greenlight, I might add. And to the degree where it actually still says Hovering Helideath in the upper left-hand corner when you launch Starship Nova Strike.
Yeah, Digital Homicide, I mean, they're no better than whoever this Grind Zones developer is that stole assets and, flipped it over into a game. I don't think they're any more classy than that, to be honest with you. I mean, you can look at what kind of class they have by actually trying to sue Jim Sterling for being honest about their games and trying to get him for $10.7 million. I don't think it'll go to court. We've talked about this in one of our first live stream we ever did, Kage. We talked about the whole lawsuit against Jim Sterling, and they show their level of class with that lawsuit. Basically trying to scare Jim Sterling into submission to stop reviewing their games is, I think, really all they're trying to do. They're trying to scare Jim, and I don't think they're ever going to go all the way.
Ant-Man is over in the chat wishing that he was a Steam admin so he could delete the sheet games.
Yeah, I mean, that's true, Ant-Man. I mean, I wish too that I just think they need a little more quality control, Ant-Man. But at the same time that everybody wishes Steam had a lot more quality control, part of me likes it the way it is with Steam. I'm talking about with Steam. And the reason I say that, and I don't know how you feel about this, Kage, nothing we've really never discussed, but the reason I say I kind of like it the way it is because if Steam had a higher quality control and only let in, 30% of the games they let in right now to their site, what that means is games that I may love, or that Ant-Man may love, or that Mellow may love, Steam quality control may think is shit and not let through. So by allowing everything to come through they allow, we get to kind of search out ourselves and pick and choose what it is that we like. For example, the same game that Kage loves, I may hate, and vice versa.
Yeah,
right?
So we have kind of a semi-example of that now. Kind of to segue into the into our next segment. This is zombie parking. And
yes, let's get that started here.
Jim Sterling said from the title, it sounded like you were going to be doing a driving thing around a parking lot with some zombies. That's not the way it works. And I kind of like this. I kind of halfway like this one, not because it's anything really great, but it's the game feels like they had a plan and they freaking stuck to it. And they weren't super ambitious. It's something they could have done it's something they may have done for a game jam or some other similar thing, and it works and it actually works. I mean, I could probably put this up against the Slaughtering Grounds, which was supposed to be a professionally done game, and it would still look really good. But then I may be a little soft in the head. I've been screwing with Digital Homicide's bullshit for a little too long now, I think. It does actually kind of look more like a technical alpha, and honestly, if this is what they think it's worth, it's less than $1. It's not like you're going to be out It's not like you're going to be out anything. It is currently on sale on Steam at 10% off, so a whole 89 cents.
Yeah, this is the ironic thing is that while I think Kage kind of likes this game and I didn't like it so much, the ironic thing is I was the one that kind of said, "Hey, let's get this game, Kage," the other night. Remember, I found it. I was like, "I'm buying this game," and then Kage, went in too, and I was the one that kind of said, "This looks cool," and Kage was like, "I don't know, but we'll try it," and it kind of turned out the opposite as far as who liked it and who really didn't. I don't think this is a killer game by any stretch of the imagination. I don't even think Kage thinks this is a great game.
I would agree with that, but it has its moments. So you're the one with the footage of this one. I took about 8 minutes of footage for a game for a run through, and somehow or another OBS Studio bent me over a washer and boned me. So I don't actually have any. So I don't actually have any actual footage, unfortunately. Okay. I would love to have some. What do we got going on here? Oh, nice one. I like it.
So this is my video review. It's on my channel. I did this, I believe, this morning or last night or something. I don't know.
Okay.
So we got our menu here.
You can actually do volume control, which is something the Digital Homicide games rarely have. Andrew, I would actually say that would be good. Single player Left 4 Dead type of thing, and it would actually really be good. They could do a lot more with this, and really, I think what happened here is they said, okay, we have a limited amount of time, a limited amount and availability. We have a limited number of people, and we have a limited number of resources. What can we do with what we have in a reasonable time? Mm-hmm. And this was the result. They set it up, they planned it. It looks like they actually built the parking garage. I don't know about the models, about the human and zombie.
Yeah.
I haven't seen
where they get the assets.
Where they got their assets. They may have actually made all those assets, and if somebody went through and did that animation hand, I will not actually be overly shocked, but I will be impressed. Because that's actually, as far as zombie stuff goes, that's actually right out of Zombie U. Kind of Walking Dead Zombie U thing somebody's been studying.
Yeah, I mean, when I first started it, I was like, this is pretty cool. I mean, the graphics are pretty nice. You got to admit, for a game that you can get for less than $1, I like the zombie movements. I like the sparks here. I like the fact that I could shoot their head off and then I could shoot their knee and they would fall to the ground.
Yeah, the physics are actually pretty good. Technically, this game is actually really nice. In terms of what there is for the game itself, yeah, maybe not so much. But you know what? I actually, when I was playing it, I was doing a thing. I was kind of I've been kind of irritated and annoyed at U.S. politics over the last several months. So about 2 minutes into my playthrough, I finally clicked on the idea that the female zombies were all Hillary Clinton and the male zombies were all Donald Trump, and the game got a lot better really quickly.
That's hilarious. Welcome back, Mello. Okay, no problem. No problem, Catherine.
Then the second time I tried playing through it, they became James Romine and somebody else. I forget who the female zombies were, but there's only a couple different zombie models that they used, and that's not actually a problem as far as I'm concerned. As potential problems go, it's actually pretty thin. I don't have a.
And the funny thing is I played this game for I think over an hour or close to an hour total, trying to get a quick review up. And Ant-Man says it's still better than all of Digital Homicide's games. Yeah, I mean Ant-Man. I mean I've reviewed 3 of Digital Homicide games now. Their first 3 games that they published to Steam, Slaughtering Grounds, Forbidden Uprising, or Forsaken Uprising, or whatever it is, and Temper Tantrum. And none of those games scored more than a 4%. Now, when I first reviewed this game, I did the video, I did a score, and I got around a 65 or a 70 the first time I did it. But then I was like, I sat there and watched the video, and I'm like, you know what? This game doesn't deserve a 70%. I'm like, maybe the first 10 or 15 minutes it deserves a 70% because it does look pretty nice. I was like, but I don't think anybody's going to play this game, for more than an hour. And what it really needs is if they just spent a little more time on this game. The problem is, while it looks nice and it's fun for the first 15 minutes, it's just the same thing over and over and over and over again. As I said in my Steam review, there's nothing to change it up. You don't ever change maps. You don't ever go to a new garage or a road or anything like that. The zombies are always the same. There's no bosses. There's no dogs. There's no other weapons that you can get. You never progress. You can never add skills or skill points or anything like that. And I know maybe I'm asking for a lot for a $1 game, but still, it results in a game that gets very, very boring very, very quickly. And there's just so many better games like this out there. Maybe they don't have as good of graphics, but there are 2D zombie games that where you can progress a lot more and have something to try to achieve. I mean, I was falling asleep in this game by the time I made the second review. It gets so boring so quick, and there's nothing to continue playing for. I mean, if you look here, if I progress this video further on here, you'll see that eventually this is about 30 to, I think, 45 minutes into a game. You can see my health. It was never a challenge as well. Even with all these zombies, it's the dumbest AI where they just go towards your XY coordinates. And you always have enough ammo and everything to shoot them down. There's nothing challenging about this game. If I wanted to, I could sit here and play this game for 12 hours and never even come close to dying, unless I just fell asleep. So that to me is not a good game. And so I had to lower the score.
Well, there is one thing of interest. My first run through, like I said, lasted 8 minutes, and the reason it only lasted 8 minutes is because running around here, I don't know if you even spotted them, because I know Jim Sterling didn't, but spaced out every so often around the arena here, you have jerry cans full of fuel.
Right. Yeah, I saw those.
And when you shoot them, they blow up.
That was one of the problems I actually had, is about half the time that I shot those jerry cans, they just went flying and they wouldn't blow up. Yeah, really weird.
That's because you didn't hit them the way that they wanted to be hit. If you hit them from the ends, they usually don't do that quite so much. But if you shoot them again, they'll always blow up, regardless of where you shoot them from.
Right.
They do explode at that point. And the first time I used a jerry can, because there was actually one on the screen there a moment ago, I blew 5 zombies to Kingdom Come. And I
mean, it's pretty cool when you're blowing up and you blow up a bunch of zombies.
The next time around, I was trying to draw a whole horde of zombies, and I got them around the can, or actually right behind the can, and then I unloaded on the can with my shotgun, and I blew myself up. The game ended. All of a sudden, I see boom, and game over, and I'm going rack.
Yeah, Mello also says sometimes the jerry cans wouldn't blow up in this game. He ran into a glitch where the shields wouldn't turn off, so he was immortal. Somebody was bored. Oh, Mello said he was bored, so he got coffee. Andrew says if they use the money they get from this and make another more fleshed out game, then it might be pretty good. But they seem to have technical ability. They seem to have the technical ability to make decent games. Yeah, I would agree with that, Andrew. I think if they spent a little more time in this and made it so that you could progress and maybe level up, or when the monsters got smarter, or something. So you got to have something to progress for, not just the same thing over and over and over and over again. Now, I know you guys might be looking at me and say, well, Zax, you have another $1 game a couple weeks ago that you gave a high score. That gave it around a 9 out of 10 with the Catch a Falling Star. But that game actually, to me is a lot more compelling. Maybe it's just my taste. But
well, it did get harder the further you got in. So
yeah, it got a lot harder the further you get in. So it got a lot more challenging, where this just really was never a challenge for me.
You know what? Honestly, I was playing it more as a catharsis thing, and it works very, very, very well for this. I don't know.
Bella said he was bored too while playing the game.
But you know, if you want to just get a kick back for 10 or 15 minutes and just blow the heads off sheep, you don't get much. You're not going to get a whole lot better. Like I said, it looks like, for me, it looks like what they did was they had a plan, they went for it, and they put it, and they got it all glued together real nice. Very few, almost no bugs, or none that I actually found. Sterling didn't find any bugs. Apparently Mello found one or two. Yeah,
I found a few bugs. I mentioned them. I didn't like the fact that sometimes you would hit a zombie right in the head and it would continue on unharmed, and then sometimes you would hit it in the hand and it would die. I found that as a bug, and I scored it down a little bit for that. I also found a bug where you would see a zombie kind of glitching through the wall or crawling, and then in a flash it gets up. Like you don't even see it. I didn't like that.
Believe it or not, I saw a zombie actually get up, complete with animation.
Really?
It does. Yeah. They do have a crawl around and actual crawl to stand animation.
Yeah, some of the physics are not that bad, but as you can see, it got a few points knocked off for mainly a few graphical bugs and glitches. And that's why it scored a 12 out of 20 on controls and bugs for me. The controls were good.
Yeah, it was actually solid for the controls. The controls themselves were intuitive, either with a mouse and keyboard or a controller, which I tried it with as well. It works pretty well with with an Xbox 360 controller. Yeah, just the whole thing. It's not a bad game. It's not what I would consider brilliant. I'd probably give it a 5.5 or a 6.
Out of 10.
On a 10 scale. I mean, it's not great. It's not super compelling, but as far as zombie shooters go, well, you don't have a lot of story in this one. You're not supposed to.
You might have thought my graphics was a little bit low. I gave it a 6 out of 10 for graphics and sound. That might be a little bit lower than where you would have scored it.
Yeah, I think I'd actually do it. Well, no, because the zombies don't really look all that zombified. You get the impression that they're zombies from their motion. But not.
I think part of me too. I have a real feeling that this is either a asset kit that they've modified, or that these are assets that they didn't make themselves.
I don't think that's the case, because I'm pretty sure I've been looking through the Unity and Unreal stores, especially the Unreal store, and I have not seen this environment there.
Well, another thing too that flashes that out to me is anytime you see one of these games like this that's so low priced, it almost yells out to me that they are stealing assets, or they're doing something to be able to put a game up at that kind of a price. I don't think they stole it. I think they actually just made it, and because it's their first game ever, they priced it low. I don't know. They may be interesting to watch in the coming months to see if anybody does notice that they actually did steal assets, or I know stock assets or something.
The Sterling didn't notice, and nobody from his usual mob has had anything really nasty. So I'm guessing they either don't know, they either haven't found them or don't give a shit.
And potentially both. So you and I disagree on the game. Well, not much. I mean, if you would give it a 6 out of 10, that's still not a big difference between you and I.
Difference. I find it competent for what it is. And hey. Not everything has to be, really deep and compelling. It's like you were telling me with some of the games we did in our first games roundup.
Right.
But Catch a Falling Star and other such things. And this here didn't bother me. And it probably, and to some degree, I'm pretty sure some people would think that it should. And it didn't bother me. I don't actually.
Keep in mind that almost half my score is the value. So, I mean, because it was under $1, that's really the only reason it scored a 43. If it was priced at like $3 or something like that, that score would have probably been down at, a 20% or something like that. So,
well, I figure it this way. I got more than an hour out of the game, and it was less than $1. I don't care.
Yeah,
as far as I'm concerned, it was worth the $1 to do it. Even though I only took 8 minutes of actual footage, I played it for a while after that. I don't care.
Yeah, and as I think Andrew or Ant-Man pointed out, I mean,
Mello said it had value for money.
Yeah, it had value for money.
Oh, he was talking about Falling Star.
Oh, somebody said it was a lot better than the digital homicide games, and by that means it is. I mean, a 43% is what I gave this game, where the highest score I've given any digital homicide game at this point is a 4%. So 43% is a lot better than 4%, but still not something that I can highly recommend.
Okay, so
anyway, Nunya says Kage and Hill, any dihydrogen monoxide last night. Rick.
That actually goes back to a conversation he and I had last night. I was picking on some protesters, and they damn near got dihydrogen monoxide, also known as water, banned in the city of Edmonds up here.
Yeah. So we are going to jump in now to, I think you have 4 games that you were going to talk about. I have 4
games. Right? This is the first one, and the next one is one that Nunya wanted to see so badly that he actually picked it up. So we're going to go to that. I'm going to switch over here. This is 24 Hours Till Rescue. This is another little zombie game thing, because little zombie game things are fun. This is actually done shockingly enough in RPG Maker. RPG Maker XP or VX, and I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure which. And usually, I can keep that. I can keep those straight pretty easily. 24 Hours Till Rescue is not a hugely long game. Yep, that's actually the list, because that's the list I put in the description. But this one here, I wasn't very good at it, I'll be honest with you. But given given the engine they started with, some of the things that a lot of people are finding wrong with it, because it's got mixed reviews, some of the things they're finding wrong with are limitations of the engine and problems that would come from having to use enough scripts to modify the engine to do this. And I've even got some nice footage here for you. I've got about 15 minutes of this. So you start out with the ability to get 2 characters. You can do the permadeath or the not permadeath, and they come in and each one comes in the 2 flavors of hard and holy shit. The first playthrough, I had a little bit of a problem kind of getting used to where the individual controls were. Click around, and I actually wound up having to go back and forth. So here's the start of the guys of the game for the male one here, because I'd played as the female at this point a couple of times. Each one of those little flashes there is an event, and if you take a step into the next, if you take one step too far, you're going to wind up in an area next to one. You're actually going to wind up kind of halfway stuck. You're going to step back, and that's actually a function of that's actually a problem that RPG Maker has in and of itself. You have to do blockings by tile type. I've made several RPG Maker games, and I don't even know how much scripting was required to do this, because this is a lot of freaking work.
Right.
Well, it is the wrong kind of engine to do, but the engine itself and the rights to use some of the stuff that's in it it's very inexpensive. And it doesn't have royalty issues after that. So
right, that makes it a really tempting engine to use when you have all that going for you.
Well, and then they actually figured out a way to do it, which is even more entertaining. Now you got zombies going everywhere. This guy is armed with a chainsaw, and cool. Melee weapons are a problem.
Are they? Well, yeah, because you get surrounded.
If you get surrounded, all you've got some melee weapon. You're going to have a real problem backing off, and it won't even activate your melee weapon if you're not close enough.
Get in trouble in a hurry. Well, so I mean, as you can imagine, even if you were to imagine like the popular show The Walking Dead, by using a melee weapon, a knife, for example, or whatever, the characters in that show leave themselves exposed to attacks from the back and stuff like that from zombies and stuff. Same kind of thing here.
Which is why you try not to do that. It does have a kind of a semi-RPG element in that once you've gathered up X number of experience points, you do actually gain a level. Not that it really has much of an effect aside from increasing the number of hit points you've got available to you. But those hit points are absolutely are a boon at the right time. If you hit the F key at any time you happen to have snacky things on hand, then it completely restores your health. Eating is not a requirement if you can play keep away. Okay, this one here is armed with a gun, and you actually we're going to have to craft your ammo after you're done.
Really?
Yeah, your starting ammo. They do have a crafting system. They do use it, and it does actually have everything you can craft has an actual function that is worth something. There, I couldn't get to that piece of that bit of armor because that's actually a fence in my way, which sucked only a lot because I could have used it. Actually, it wasn't.
Yeah, you're doing a lot better now that you're at a range, though, that you're using a gun.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, hurry back, Catherine and Mello.
And here I'm not paying attention to my hit point meter down below. I am about to die. and I do this several times before I finally get to I'm dead.
You're dead.
But I chose the cheesy hard mode because there is no easy mode.
Right.
There isn't. It's just not there. It's
just hard and hard. It's hard and impossible, basically.
It's hard and go to hell. Oh, actually, it's more like hard and Nintendo hard is. And see, that's the thing I was talking about there with the blockage. I moved too far forward and I couldn't get loose.
I see.
But I also couldn't access the event from that side either, so couldn't move and I couldn't access the event from that side. And that's actually a thing that you can hard code into the individual events, which direction they can be and what actions are required to make them happen. Again, I've spent a little too much time with RPG Maker. I know how it works. These are actually double height these are double height icon characters here too. A lot of these they actually had to make most of these assets because they're not actually in asset packs. Some of these do have there are some up they did get a few assets from here and there, and I figured out where those come from. But for the most part, they actually had to make most of these. All of the character models, and they're all real different. You can actually tell the difference between them.
They all look, they do all look distinguished and different. So,
and like I said, this is a lot of freaking work. I wouldn't necessarily give this, it's not really game of the year material, but damn, I'm impressed.
Right, you got to give them the respect they deserve for putting that much time into a project.
When we did the Slaughtering Grounds digital homicide thing. Hey, thanks. Okay. Oh, he's just getting okay. Mello's just coming back. Welcome back, Mello. Yes, absolutely. But I told you. Actually, it was the bonus. It was the bonus stream we did when I made an example of this game and I completely screwed the booger. I was expecting to go right back in and I had to hit the space bar, but of course I didn't do that. By this time I figured out that I have snacks in my inventory. I should probably use them. And of course everything's respawned here, so now I have to kill it all again. And everything respawned, including the events. The pickups.
Right. No problem, Nanya.
But this is the one that Nunya wanted to see, and they said, and Digital Homicide in their lawsuit, said it was that they could put out 10 titles in the 2,000 hours they spent researching the lawsuit. And my thinking at that time was, well, holy shit, you're going to spend 3 weeks on a game. What are you doing?
That's a good point.
3 weeks to build a whole game. Why are you bothering? I mean, Insanity Alley was fairly large, and it wasn't overly complicated. It was thoroughly unbalanced, actually. It was nowhere near ready for release, and I had 400 hours in it alone.
Yeah, I mean,
actually, no, I had more than that, actually. Because I had actually had to do some conversion for some of the assets.
But I can imagine it can be really time.
See, there's a crafting table.
Nice.
I think
there's all the different stuff.
Each one has different sections. I didn't have any brass tubing, so I couldn't make more pistol ammo.
Mello's refilling up on coffee again. He says he prefers to make his own material for RPG Maker because RPG Maker tends to limit what he can do.
Yeah, and that would be absolutely correct. He and one of the other folks that tends to hang out in the stream are currently building games, which we may or may not cover when we see them. But he's going to put his out for free because he firmly thinks he sucks. But this here is a quality. This is what happens when you get kind of quality control. Some of the other reviews were talking about the controls being kind of floaty and not really workable. And I didn't actually find that. The game is difficult in ways that you've only read about, but it's expected to be. They make no secret of this.
Mm-hmm.
They really don't.
So this is what happens when you have a game that may not be the best game out there for its type, but when somebody cares about at least making a good game.
You can tell. You can see it in the end result. And I'm completely okay with that. I don't know about anybody else.
Even though the graphics in this game here aren't nearly as good as they were, let's say, in the game we just talked about, the zombie parking, I think I would rather play this game here. But that's just me.
Yeah, and I think this game was, what, $3 or $4 on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't horrifyingly expensive.
So, Kage, the question is for you on this 24-hour Star Rescue: do you see yourself going in at any point and going and finishing this game to the completion?
Actually, believe it or not, it's got that roguelike thing where it's actually kind of where it's a little bit different each time.
Mm-hmm.
So I could actually potentially play this for quite some time.
Okay.
Like it's not Skyrim, obviously, but it's it's good for what it is.
But then again, it plays on a lot more computers than can play Skyrim too. Even though more and more computers all the time are able to play Skyrim because it's getting older and older. But
yeah, but still, this is a game that you could pick up for cheap, that you can dig around in for a little while, put down, can come back to. You
can drink your coffee while you play it.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't do that while it's actually running. Here's another thing that it does that Digital Homicide games don't. You pause it, everything stops.
Yeah, and you actually have an in-game menu and everything as well, which you don't find in any of the Digital Homicide games that I've played yet. It's all just the stock Unity menu that comes up before the game launches. Just really, basically, just stuff that shows they don't care about their games.
Well, some of them actually do have a little bit of that. Krog Wars did. But then Krog Wars' pause menus were a problem all the way around. I was trying to find my way out of this area.
So one thing I wanted to go ahead and ask the viewers right now, the people chatting, and we can bring this up again, especially if more people join the stream. I want to ask you guys out there, Mello and Nunya and Catherine and all you, Ant-Man, all you guys that are watching, whoever it is, if you guys can give us a vote in chat, what's happened recently? When I was watching Kage and Mello do one of their streams back on Monday, I noticed that Kage and Mello were talking about how they tried to go to Digital Homicide and find them, and maybe just to try to add them as a friend as a joke. And Digital Homicide had blocked them from communication on Steam. And so when they were talking about that and I was watching that, I did the same thing just out of curiosity. And Digital Homicide hadn't blocked me, even though I've given Digital Homicide, I've reviewed 3 of their games. 2 of them have got a 4% out of 100. One of them, Temper Tantrum, got a 1% score out of 100. I've been extremely critical of their games, maybe more so than even Jim Sterling, the guy they're suing. So I found it ironic that not only was I allowed to invite them as a friend, that they accepted, and they are now a friend on Steam. I can communicate with Digital Homicide brothers right now. So I want to ask you guys, what do you guys think about me potentially buttering them up and inviting them to come on one of our live streams next Friday night, whenever works for them, and do a live stream one-on-one with our Kage live stream with one of the Digital Homicide brothers, if they are willing to accept? You guys interested in that?
Yeah, that actually could. That could be fun, but we have to have Mello too.
Yep, we could invite this in. We could get Digital Homicide. We need to know how many people are, because I don't see them as accepting that offer, but they accepted me as a friend, so maybe it'd be something where if I butter them up and I ask them, hey, do you guys want to come on and talk about why it is that you think that so many people are being negative of your games? Why do you think it is that I'm being critical of your games? And what it is you guys think you can do better, to improve your the way people look at you guys? Might be an interesting talk if they're willing to talk.
Well, it's why me? Well, why me would be because I'm the one that's been working with Zach on this particular project, and this would be the best time to do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't get your hopes up too much, guys, because I don't see them as accepting it. But who knows? Who knows? I mean, I could always ask, and I think that would make for a pretty entertaining video, anyhow.
Okay. So yeah, that's about it for the footage. We've got just another couple of minutes here. So what do you think, Zach? You think this is something that you would actually buy/play?
Well, probably not, Kage. I tend to really steer away from Game Maker games. I know that, not Game Maker games, but RPG Maker games. I know that some of them have been fun. I did play one that I played all the way through, and that was To the Moon. That was actually a pretty good game. This one might be as good. I'll have to take a closer look at it and maybe watch, your footage and see a little bit more about it. I know the price tag is low, but you got to look at me. There's not a whole lot of games that I go from start to finish. I mean, I've bought Skyrim and I haven't even started that yet. So that kind of shows you how committed I am to, if I buy a game and I play it from start to finish, there must be something about that game that really hooks me, because I'm not one that finishes a lot of games. It takes a lot. I guess I'm really picky.
I'm not necessarily. I'm actually fairly picky myself. I'm just not quite that picky. I know I've actually got quite a few games that I've never played. I've got them. I've almost got them for. Some of them I've just got for collector's value. Others that I've got because I want to actually play them someday, and I probably never will get to play them all the way through. Because I don't know if that's going to be long enough, if I'll live long enough.
Yeah, you guys, Ant-Man and everything like that, I know you guys have been following us for a while and following me. I know you've been following me for a while on Steam and stuff like that. I don't know that I'd let too many other people onto the chat with Digital Homicide, because this is going to be, if they were to come into chat, even Kage and I would have to keep ourselves really contained. We'd have to talk about it beforehand. We would have to be really under control. Because I don't want a lawsuit from Digital Homicide for saying the wrong words or the wrong things to them in a live stream. First of all, I don't expect them to take an invite like that, to be honest with you. But if they did, we'd really have to be careful about, who we let talk to them, what was said, that kind of thing. Because, we definitely don't want to, even though there's a lot of temptation to go in there and just drill the hell out of them and call them everything but a white man.
Yeah, we would have to be careful. Anyway, Mello, to answer your question of why I played in a window, the full screen. If you set it up for full screen at the at the resolution that my monitor is usually set at, it would really look like crap. But what happens with full screen games is I've got two monitors. One so I can monitor things that are going on, and one so I can play a game or do whatever the hell it is I'm doing. And if it's adjusted, if one is adjusted, the other follows it. And then and then things get kind of screwed up. That's why I usually play games in windowed mode. But the windowed mode, it starts out usually in full screen mode, and you can hit Alt. You use your Alt Enter to force it into windowed mode, and it stays there. One of the things a lot of people had to complain about is actually a problem that exists in RPG Maker games in general, and the people that do the developing for these games don't actually pay attention to most of the time is the volume. Most of the RPG makers, XP was especially bad at this. They fixed that in MV in the most recent release for MV, but they don't actually have an options menu for things like sound volume. So I had to actually go down into the volume mixer, the Windows volume mixer, and turn that program way down to make it actually tolerable. I had to do the same thing to zombie parking actually, because you could just kind of jump right in. At least I did it the first time. After that, I figured out that you could the options menu prior to that. But yeah,
Right.
monitor setups are a pain in the butt like that. So let's switch over here to Zach. And if I remember correctly, thou art next. I'm going to.
Oh yes, I'm actually going to be playing a game now, so you guys can watch me play. I'm going to take off my headset, so hopefully you guys can hear the game sounds coming in. Just wanted to go ahead and show you guys here real quick. This is my friends list on Steam, and you guys will see Digital Homicide right there as one of my friends. Surprisingly, as surprisingly as it is, they accepted my friend invite offer. I think it's pretty funny. So yeah, I'm going to have to think really carefully about how I invite them to a stream and see if I can butter them up enough to, or make it tempting enough for them to maybe join us for a stream in the future. So no guarantees, guys. I just wanted to see what you guys thought about that. So let's go ahead and take a look at a new game, guys, that I just bought a couple hours ago, called Night Blights. Now, if you guys like Five Nights at Freddy's, if you like the little, jump scare kind of horror games that Five Nights at Freddy's is, you guys are probably already know about this game. It just came out today. It is not in early access. When I played it, I think it had 1 review. Now it has 5. It's $4.99, and this is a game where you are basically home alone as a kid, and I guess your parents and your sister are gone. I don't know, but you are moving around a house and trying to protect your baby brother, who is a baby in his crib, and you are trying to basically protect the house from monsters. Now, if anybody remembers, the reason I like this game is because I like the fact that they make you be a kid, unlike Five Nights at Freddy's that makes you an adult and stuff like that, because I think we all remember back to when we were kids. And, remember, I don't know about you guys, but I'll admit that when I was a kid, I was scared as hell of monsters. I remember I'm old enough to where, back in the 70s, I think it was, I guess it was the 80s. My dad had me watch the movie The Blob, 1958, Steve McQueen movie, a movie that we'd all laugh at now. But that movie scared the living hell out of me back when I was a kid. And I remember for a long time, always, my imagination running wild, being scared of the dark and monsters and stuff like that. And so that's why I like the theme for Night Blights here. The fact that you're a little kid, you got to try to protect the house. You got to try to, keep all the doors closed and the refrigerator doors because, oh my God, scary monsters are coming out. And so I can totally imagine a kid having this kind of imagination. And I think that's why I like it. But like Five Nights at Freddy's, you got to protect the house and keep monsters from getting you from 11 p.m. until the morning at 7 a.m. And as you saw them there, the monster got him. So I'm going to go ahead and play this game and show you why I like this game and why I think this game is one of the better values that I've seen in the past week or two on Steam at $5, especially if you like the Five Nights at Freddy's games. So we'll jump right into it here. Any comments, Kage? Or okay, I'm going to go ahead and take my headset off so maybe you guys can hear the sound effects coming through my mic because they won't allow the sound effects to come through Google. Where is this game? There it is. All right, I don't know how well this is going to work, guys. Can you guys hear the sound effects at all? I hope you guys can hear the sound effects through my speakers coming through my mic. Okay, another thing I like about this game, guys, is Night Blights, A&D to turn the pages. If we look at this, we have our controls. It's all standard controls.
Zach?
Yeah.
I can hear it, but I can't see it.
Oh, okay. Why is it not working?
I don't know.
Hmm.
Looking at the Magic Google box for click correctly, and
oh yeah, I got to change the sharing probably. I got it on my full screen monitor, but I need to change it to. Let's see. Full screen too. No, that wouldn't work. Hang on, guys. Let's see if I can get this up for you.
I can definitely hear it though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't even notice that it wasn't playing. So let's see. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and just do this because I don't think it's going to work on Google Play here. But I will probably be live streaming this again soon. Let's just go ahead and take a look at what I streamed earlier because I did stream this earlier.
Okay.
The problem is I'm going to have my voice and everything like that on it. So give you guys just an idea. But one thing I like about it here, though, is like.
Oh, now I'm seeing a lot of black.
Now you're seeing a lot of black. Okay, let's see what's going on here.
Oh, it's just. Yeah, there we go. I got it now.
Got it now. Okay. So.
And if I can see it, they can see it. So there we go.
All right. So let me put my headset back on so that we have a little control over this. I think we're going to have to wait on the sound effects until you guys go and watch one of the streams or watch one of the other reviews or whatever. But what I want to do is I want to go ahead and talk about one thing I really like about this game is I really like the book. And I think I mentioned it in the live stream. The book that plays kind of talks about, the game. But I've spent $15 on kids' books in my past that weren't as well written or as good as this book is here in this game. So I really do like it. I like the fact that it's poetic. Now listen to this, the Night Blight. As down goes the sun and up comes the moon, a terror from the dark is coming, and soon. They hide in the shadows and strike, sudden, quick, something mischievous that likes a good trick. You've one simple goal to try to have fun, just survive until morning and the rise of the sun. So be warned and may it fill you with fright. There is nothing more scary than a hungry night blight. That is just freaking cool. I think anyway.
Well, that's some nice poetry, certainly.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it goes along with the game perfectly, and I like the book. I think it adds to it quite a bit. So then we come to Monday night here, and I guess you're trying to go through all week and make it. Monday, safe in your bed, or so it may seem, they come from below as you slumber and dream. When they close in, they growl and make noise. Best feed them quick with one of your toys. When the shadow of night falls over your globe, then you can be grabbed from any wardrobe. Keep your eyes peeled and the doors firmly shut, or out will they leap, and their sharp teeth shall cut. So it says press E here to play Monday night. So you'll do that, and you jump in, and this is kind of shows I went through the whole book and kind of looked at the developers and everything. So here I am starting out, and oh no, it's kind of showing me the house. It's showing me that they like to come out of the wardrobes and the fridges, and you got to go close all the doors and make sure they're all shut and protect your family until 7 a.m. Good luck. So you start off here in your room, and here you just left click on your your wardrobe, close wardrobes to shut the doors. You have your baby brother right there in the same room in a crib, and it says there's a hungry night blight under your parents' bed. Well, at this point, I didn't even know where the hell my parents' bedroom is, and I'm like, oh crap. So running around looking for a toy, and I'm shut. Is that shut? So I'm like, okay, is that a toy? No, that's not a toy. Where's the toy? I'm like, oh crap, there's a night blight under the bed, but I got to find a toy for it. And so I was like, well, where's a toy? So anyway, I was kind of exploring the house at this point, and bringing in a toy. Here you go. And you just basically drag the toy. You just click it to, and you hold it, and then you drag it to the whatever monster. And you can kind of hear them growling in the game when they get hungry. And it'll also tell you the first 2 nights, it'll tell you, give you hints down here, and it'll say, hey, there's a close deal with the doors open that you need to go close. There's also a Hungry Night Blight under your sister's bed downstairs. Find another toy. So it'll help you out the first 2 nights, but then after that, all this help down here stops, and you have to really listen for growls and doors opening up and stuff like that. So you really got to be listening and focused, or one of these monsters will come out and jump scare you in the game. So I think it's a pretty cool little game. I know that it's copying a lot from the Five Nights at Freddy's deal, but I think this might be better than
like
all
it's
the
enough,
Five Nights at Freddy's games.
It seems like it's enough different that it doesn't really come off as a Five Nights at Freddy's clone, which is the thing that, you're not going to get up there, dude. You still probably need 2 or 3.
Yeah. I was just, and then I saw toys up on the couch here at some point. I thought that was a toy there at first, but then I was like, no, that's not a toy. So
might be a piece of statuary.
So I think, I was looking, okay, there we go. So
there.
you're able to grab something there. And then so there was a toy, and I was like, okay, well, we better take it back upstairs. And this game really didn't scare me that much. I mean, it had a little bit of a jump scare. The original Five Nights at Freddy's game, when I first played it, scared me more. But then again, at that point, I hadn't played a lot of these kind of games, and now I've played several of these kind of games, so it may be just me getting numb to them a little bit, getting used to them a little bit, rather. But I just thought it was cool. I thought it was fun. So, but this is Night Blight again, $5 in U.S. currency on Steam right now. It just came out today. And I like this one. I really do. I see myself playing this one probably, I don't know, not a ton, but I can see myself playing this, 6-8 hours in the next month. Easy.
It's a game that I may get just to mess with it. And not for nearly, and just to poke around and do the exploration thing, because that's actually my bag.
Now, I'll warn you guys, if you buy this game, you can see that you can look at the clocks. There's a clock upstairs. Here I am shutting a door again. I ended up seeing the open window in my parents' room, jumping up on the bed, and realized I couldn't shut the window. Here I am trying to get a toy up here. But let me keep moving through here. What I want to show you guys here is... Oh, another thing, too, is you move really slow, and if you hold shift to run, you start getting tired, and you'll notice your eyelashes going up more, and you'll start see my eyelashes there, and then bloody words are written on the walls to kind of scare you and add to the effects and everything. But if you run too much, and it's really tempting not to run because you move so damn slow, but then you start getting tired. But again, these tips right here help you a lot your first couple of nights. But the first time I died at 6:44 a.m. I forgot about that. Let's watch when I died here. It didn't really scare me, but let's see what happens here, because I don't really remember. I was almost there to 7 a.m. I think I couldn't find a toy is what the deal is. I was looking for a toy, and I couldn't find one. I knew that Blight there was hungry. And I was, I was trying to feed it a thing, and it jumped out and got me. I was like, here, take this. I was trying to be a smart ass and feed it a stump, and it came out and got me. So that was pretty cool. And then so I go out again, and I'm able to make it to 7 a.m. the next time.
See, anyway, Zach, Mello says Five Nights at Freddy's wasn't scary. They used cheap and tacky jump scares, which works for about the first 20 minutes or so, and after that, you just not so much anymore.
Yeah, that's probably true. This game, I honestly think this game is a little bit better than I think I've played 3 of the 4 Five Nights at Freddy's games to this point. I like this game more. I think it's more fun. Not because it's so scary, just because it keeps you busy. You have to keep listening and focused and checking everything all the time, or you're going to lose the game. So it's more of a, not compelling, what's the right word? It's just a game that kind of keeps you busy and keeps you interested, I think, more than it is an actual really scary game. It's not a scary game. I just think it's kind of fun. And another way it's fun is because every night after you make it to 7 a.m., I mean, Monday complete right here. So this is the second game I was able to complete Monday. And Tuesday night is unlocked, and free play mode is unlocked, which I haven't checked out free play mode yet.
Free play mode is apparently a thing where you can just kind of wander around and have fun with it.
Okay. So Tuesday, night blights are a danger only children can see, and the taste of small babies, it fills them with glee. When they come near the baby, shall cry, spin the mobile swiftly, else the baby will die. So now you got to protect the baby, and if you listen to the baby crying, you got to go up to the baby and spin the mobile. And then also you got to listen for the garage door opening, go out in the garage, and if the garage door starts opening, you got to hit the button. If the garage door opens and breathing you hear, then surely you know that a night blight is near. So press the red button and keep the door shut tight. This will keep you safe throughout the long night. So again, I like the poetry every time you do this. So it gets harder. Tuesday, it continues to give you hints. Here I am shutting the garage door, and I'm just going to kind of move through this quicker because we don't want to sit here and watch a 45-minute video.
No.
But so I'm continuing to work through the night here on Tuesday, and you still got to do all the other stuff like, feed them stuffed animals, the night blights and stuff like that when they creep out under the bed. And let's see. And here I am shutting the door again in the garage. So you got more stuff to do. More tasks you got to worry about, more things you got to worry about as the week goes on. And then Tuesday is complete. So let's go ahead and look at the next one here. Wednesday, the blights are unclean and revel in games. So up in your toilet, quite often they'll climb. Give them a flush as quick as you can, else hiding around corners will be their great plan. Blights will come down the chimney. So keep the fire alight. Use the bellows to be safe through the terror-filled night. For should the fire be left to wither and die, then in comes the night blights, all creeping and sly. All creeping and sly. So now you got two more things to do on Wednesday night, and it starts to be quite a bit. And then right here on Wednesday night, notice that as I'm playing, I have no more, hints down here telling me what to do. I really got to listen to the toilet sounds, the garage, the growls from the monsters that want to eat something.
But you can re-enable them from the options menu.
Yeah, or you can enable them and cheat basically from the options menu and enable the hints. Good point there.
It just means that the ADHD crowd will actually be reminded to pay attention.
Yeah, I mean, I and then I died at that one. Oh, let's see here. I want to show you guys this here. When I went down, I heard the garage door, so I'm like, oh crap, the garage door opened. So at some point, maybe right here, I noticed that the garage door opened. So I'll show you guys what happened here. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, and it's a game where you definitely want to run, because I'm running right here. I mean, if you don't run, you move so damn slow. But you can see that I run up here, and the garage door just opened all the way up, and I kept hitting the button, and nothing would work to close it. So I really think that if you let this garage door get all the way up like it just did right before I got there, you can no longer shut it. And so now I'm like, oh, crap. So I look out there, and I see like 8 different monsters, and I'm like, oh, shit, they're going to kill me now for sure. So I'd already been playing the stream for like 45 minutes at this point anyway. So I was like, you know what? I'm screwed. So I ended up getting down, and I'm like, well, let's see if we can just exit out of here and run off. And I was being a smart ass, and of course they got me.
Well, actually, they actually have faces. You saw teeth.
and you can kind of see, look at that. That was kind of cool. I didn't even notice that the first time.
Anyway,
I like that. The little drawing, it shows you how you die. I think that's pretty cool. Right here, watch this. That is cool. I didn't even notice that.
Make it very far. All right. So let's go on to the next one.
Yes, let's move on.
All right. This is Enter the Gungeon. And you guys have probably seen lots and lots of footage of this recently. Jim Sterling did it. Total Biscuit did it. Just all sorts of other hilarious ones. And Jim Sterling says he sucks at these games. I think he's suffering from Dunning-Kruger syndrome. I don't usually play this type of game. I enjoyed it the first time around. The first time I tried it, and I still enjoyed it this time. But I did a lot of dying. So, without further ado, I don't know if you've played it or not, Zach.
I haven't. Nope, I haven't yet.
Okay.
I haven't bought it yet.
Let's move on. This thing's $15 on Steam, and it is actually worth the money, funnily enough.
Yay.
I'm going to suck at this a lot, and I'm going to tell you now, it's not because the controls are floaty or anything's really wrong with the game. It's that I suck. I'm not very good at it.
At least you can admit it.
Well, you know, I have a copy of the original Binding of Isaac, and I put it down after about 15 minutes total playtime because I just couldn't deal with the whole twin stick thing.
Oh, right.
And it's, you know, my hands are not in the best shape they've ever been in.
So I tend to like twin stick shooters, so I might really like this game then.
So here we go. We're going to fire this up now. At this point, I've already played it for a little while, not quite an hour and a half.
Oh, wow.
I put in a little over 15 minutes this time. Well, actually, some of that time was me having to walk away and do other stuff. So, yeah. Okay. So here we go. We're going to load this up, and it actually takes a minute or so. Oh, no, didn't take as long as it seemed to me like it took longer. Screens are actually pretty good for this thing. They're usually not but a few seconds. And that could in part be because I've got some slow-ass hard drives connected.
Okay.
Where to go? Come on. Oh, there we are. That's the pilot.
Dodge roll.
Dodge roll. Actually, the dodge roll is a mechanic. And it's a mechanic that I don't use very well or very often.
This is a Devolver digital game. They have a lot of games on Steam.
But dodge roll actually does some good stuff. They had an earlier game that apparently was quite nice. And rather than put you guys through the intro sequence, I just went click. Okay, so Enter the Gungeon. At this point, I'm gonna go down to the options menu here and screw around for a little bit, and I'm gonna skip past most of it.
Now, this game came out, about 2 weeks ago, something like that?
Yeah, about that. Okay. Now I'm done screwing with the options. The options menus are actually quite nice. There's a lot there to kind of adjust what you're doing. Some people are critical of the pixel art. I'm thinking, yeah, maybe not so much. This is the Marine. He can take one more hit than everybody else because he's got that. He starts with that helmet. The one he was, yep. And I dropped myself off the ledge there to show that it can be done. I did this by intent. Through that door is the tutorial area.
Yeah, I mean, if I give my first reaction, I mean, this is probably a really fun game, but I imagine if people are critical of the graphics, they're probably more critical of the asking price compared to the graphics they're seeing. They're saying,
well, no, they're saying they don't like pixel art.
They don't like pixel art at all.
They don't like the pixel art. And quite frankly, the pixel art is really part of the charm. That's just a neat thing. There are a lot of people out there that are really down on the whole 2D pixel art thing because 2D pixel art, well, that looks like crap. Well, have you ever tried it?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of pixel art games like this that I think are a lot of fun. So,
well, this one was a lot of fun. Now, you all are welcome to laugh or do whatever. Okay.
See you, Catherine.
Have fun, lovely atheist Catherine. All right. So, we're trying to an old gunslinger. Kill your past. You've already damned your future. Okay. Now, at this point, I've actually turned the aim assist all the way up because I actually need it. And here, that actually was a blank that I used, and those you want to kind of save for bosses, but they kill all of the bullets on screen and knock the enemies back, and that's their job. The little shell casings that I was just picking up, those are money in this game.
Yeah, you would think this game would be a popular game because it looks like a faster paced. I mean, it almost reminds me now of the Binding of Isaac, just moving faster.
And it really should. The game plays a lot like it, but there's a lot more interactivity in the environments. Everything has a gun theme. You notice here that I'm fighting a couple of shotgun shells. Okay, but their shot pattern would be what you would expect to see of an actual shotgun.
That's cool. Yeah.
Now I cleared this room and I took 2.5 hearts of damage. So you notice the hearts are made of 2 little bullets that are crossed.
I noticed that.
Everything has a gun theme. You can kick over the tables. You can destroy everything in the room if you want to. And here's where and Marine is about to die.
Hey, yeah, man, can you blow that up? Can you maximize that video player?
Yeah, I can do that. Sure.
Okay. Make it a little bigger.
Second.
Yeah, excellent.
Video full screen. There we go.
There you go. Thank you.
But now I can't see the chat, so.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what they say if they're in chat.
Well, I can actually just switch around to. I can just switch around to the other window, but
Nobody said anything yet. They're just kind of watching, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see the life and everything a lot better now.
What you've got, usually you start with 2 blanks every level without fail.
Now, what is all that stuff floating around down there? Is that stuff you can pick up, or?
Well, the stuff that was floating around down there was debris from the explosion.
Okay, gotcha.
And nearly everything is destructible, including the tables. You can flip the tables to use as cover, but they don't. They don't hold up very long, and I'm dead again.
Oh, nice. That's cool, though. Yeah, this
2
game
rooms in.
Plays better than it looks like. It plays better than I figured it would.
Well, it does. It plays very, very well. There's a lot of like gun puns and stuff in here. And if you have any idea of what goes on with it, if you know what guns are, then you'll at least get something out of it. That shape in the middle there, that's a teleport. If you're somewhere else in the dungeon, from your pause menu, you can, if you've already been through a room or cleared a room,
you can go there.
You can jump back, which cuts a lot of the backtracking out of the game.
That's nice. Yeah. Well thought out.
Oh, here's a thing that I screwed up completely.
So you blew up a blob, and it's blowing up into multiple.
Now watch what I do here, because this was actually very stupid of me. I've got 1 more bullet can right here, and I'm thinking I'm going to go and ambush him, and then I freaking died. Or no, I didn't die there. I didn't die right away, but I got hurt. I got hurt really badly when I was actually at full health initially. You can find various guns in here, shotguns and stuff. And I go into the next room, and there are 4 bullet kin in here, and there he goes. I was going to try and ambush them again and died badly. That's generally how I tend to play games like this. I'm either running my little butt off trying to kill everything that moves, or I try the sneaky approach and like kill things at ranges. There isn't anything for melee weapons in this game. I've yet to see one.
Okay.
Your base weapon always has infinite ammo, but your magazine size is limited.
Well, games like this too, Cog. I mean, even if you look at The Binding of Isaac, it's not a really easy game until you really play it a while and you really get good at it. I mean, games like this need to be challenging, and it's what makes them fun. So yeah, I mean, that's cool.
And believe me, this is a challenge. I got my ass stomped several times, and we're not even all that far We're about 10 minutes in, and I've got 15 minutes of footage.
Ant-Man says that teleports look like revolver rolls, and I think he's right.
And they are.
Yep.
And they absolutely 100% are. This is, there went my helmet again. I've been maining the convict. It works a little better. This guy here can take an extra hit regardless of how bad the hit was. And I did actually manage to kill these books. It just took me a while. But I managed to figure out how to get this into single stick mode. I turned the aiming assist on. When I turned the aiming assist on full, it started following the direction. The gun started following the direction I was pointing. But if I wanted to take over where the gun was pointing, I could actually do that with the right stick.
Oh, okay.
It did save my hands. It did. Because my right hand still has a bit of carpal in it. My left hand has been operated on, but I'm still needing my right hand worked on, maybe if they feel like it. And here I'm taking a little bit of a break here to try and get the panic under control, because a lot of the reason I sucked this hard at it is that I would get into a situation and go, oh shit, and start running around like a chicken with my head cut off. And the second that happens, you start forgetting which button is the fire button. The right bumper. It's trust me, complete mess. It's supposed to be easier to operate with a mouse and keyboard.
Really?
I did not find it that way.
Right. It looks like a game that would
Oh,
definitely
this
be
is
easier with a controller. A
yeah,
boss.
this is one. Yeah, this is a mini boss, and
Damn.
he kicked the shit out of me. I got both of his buddies here in a second with the ambush tactic.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even really get a chance to do anything here.
Now, is
A
this a
little bit.
game where you continue to progress by moving further and further down in the dungeon, or
Actually, it comes in sections. The first
sections?
section,
Okay.
the tutorial section, which I probably should do again, is the library, and it's a complete mini area with a boss, and the boss is the one that you actually follow around. You do what he tells you to do, and he shows you only the most basic of skills that you need to get around things,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're on your own.
And you can level up, or
Huh?
you
No,
have
I don't know. I have
Don't
no
know.
idea.
Okay.
I've seen people, because you've got health. See, the thing is, unlike some games, some other less fun games, you actually have to use the expended brass to buy health pickups. They are very rare in the wild.
Right. They don't just give those things out for. Yeah,
They don't give those things out for nothing. I have not yet seen a health pickup. In the better part of 2 hours playing this game, I have not yet seen a freaking health pickup.
Wow. So no inventory system or
Well,
armor.
no, there's
or
an
anything
inventory
like
system. There is your analog D-pad, the digital D-pad
that.
on
Mm-hmm.
your on a controller. That's actually mapped to various items that you can have on hand.
Oh, okay.
For example, our convict here has a Molotov cocktail that she can use. The Marine can call for an ammo drop, and he gets them. Everybody has their own special thing, except the hunter, who has a corgi that follows her around and occasionally finds the rare item. This is another game that, whilst I suck at it very, very, very badly, it's not, like I said, it's not usually my kind of game. Here's the thing I was talking about, because I die right away here. Notice the way that the actual bullets do, their shot patterns work. It's like it was one round, and then the others were having a ball with the. And you get like multiple shots from other ones. Okay. And actually, this is actually done now, because I actually stopped playing at this point. But everything you've got here, everything you see, everything you do, all the areas you hit, it's all going to be in this book right here that you're seeing.
Cool. I like that. Equipment, guns, active items, passive items.
Yep.
Memories of years in training. Better
reload speeds and weapon accuracy. Managing your reload time is actually one of the biggest problems you're going to have. Whoops. And that's for the last game I have. We're going to minimize that now.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that game on Steam. I didn't really look at it too much, but I did notice that. Yeah.
It's a pointy clicky thing. We'll get to that in a little bit.
Okay.
So I believe thou art next.
Yes, and I have my final game this week that I'll be covering, and that is Kim. That's right. So we will take a look at that. Let's go ahead and bring it up on. Let me go ahead and take the sharing here. And yep. Okay, we got it. So let me find my Steam page here.
Looks like we're going to have
this game. It is a game where the developer reached out to me and gave me a copy to review in exchange for exposure of his game on my channel. As you can see, he probably needs a little more exposure. 14 reviews.
Are you screen sharing?
I thought so.
Well, I'm not. I'm seeing you, the little blue man. So
let's see.
There you go. There you go. There it is. I see it.
So Kim, yes. So this is a game. Which I can tell you by looking at this game here, and playing it for the 1.4 hours that I played it. It is a game that's probably going to, unfortunately, it's probably not going to appeal to 95% of the gamers out there today, because it is based on a novel, a short novel written and published back in 1901, 115 years ago. But I admire what the developer has done with this game as far as being true to the author that he's making the game about, Rudyard Kipling, I guess.
Rudyard Kipling.
Rudyard Kipling. Rudyard Kipling wrote this novel and was published in 1901 about India. And I like the idea of the game as well, where you take over a young kid, like 13-year-old kid, who has lost his Irish mother to poverty. She died in poverty, probably low health, and his father was a soldier and died in war. And you have no parents. Back in around 1880 India, if you can imagine that, a harsh world, not like we have now. And you're trying to stay alive by just walking around and taking little quests and talking to people and trying to build up trust of people that, you know, you come in contact with, and fetch this and fetch that and do this quest and send this message to this town for this person. Kind of an RPG like that. But it stays true to the nature of the novel written by Rudyard Kipling, published so many years ago. And if you look at that as part of the features, history, 1880s India brought to life an enormous 2D open world. You have literature, Rudyard Kipling's dialogue in a choose your own adventure conversations. Yes, you do have choices. Every NPC you can talk to, you can choose what to say, kind of how to say. You survive, manage Kim's health and happiness by collecting food and items. And you have satisfying health and combat system. And then you have a whole musical soundtrack from the acclaimed composer, whoever that is. I don't know who it is. But the music is really nice in the game. As you can see, the game is getting mostly positive reviews, only one negative. I don't think this is going to be a game for most people. But if this game were a fantasy game, Dungeons and Dragons, you know, and trolls and stuff like that, I think it would have a lot higher appeal. But because of it being based on, you know, old stuff, most people probably consider this kind of boring stuff. But if you're a fan of old literature, short novels, or Rudyard Kipling, you're probably going to be in love with this game. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the footage
the only problem I had with this game is its price tag. I didn't have the money to get that one.
Yeah, $25.
$25 is kind of a lot for me right now.
And here is what I was doing in my video. I was basically showing that if you guys wanted to, rather than having to buy the book, you could put in Kim Rudyard Kipling PDF, and you can come here, and I believe it's not copyrighted material anymore. So
yeah, no, it's actually well past the public domain.
So Kipling, you can go ahead and just read a PDF and read the novel for free, if you're interested in doing that. And shows, you know, information about the novel.
1936. So the copyright expired in 2006.
Oh, 100 years, huh?
No, he died in 36. It's 70 years.
Okay.
It's death plus 70 years for copyrights, unless somebody's recopyrighted it since.
And that could be, but it's a little over 200 pages. If you care to read it, it'd probably help you, understand the game better. And so maybe if I read that, maybe I'll go in and play the game again. But still, even without reading the novel, I think the game's pretty fun. And I mean, you kind of see all your different, typical kind of stuff where you can see your health, your stamina here, your options. You have, your inventory and your, I guess when you end a game, it gives you all kinds of stats about how long you lived, how well you lived, how happy you were, that kind of thing. So I think for anybody that's into this kind of a game, I mean, it actually has, real time, like real information, not about Dungeons and Dragons or a fantasy world, but about the real world and the real India and the real towns of that time. So pretty cool in that regard. And so, here I am. First thing you do is you're going to meet this Tishu Lama, Buddhist pilgrim, shows their age, shows their different traits, and you have conversations with them. And you'll see here in a second that in my video I will hit continue, and I'll have some choices at some point on kind of what to say and kind of how to interact with this NPC that I've met in the game. And there's lots of different towns. I mean, there's a whole world northern India to explore. So you can explore all the towns in that game, and you have to travel cross country, make sure you're well fed enough, make sure you can end up buying tents so you're not having to camp out on the hard dirt to keep you from getting sick. It's really cool. I mean, it's really, really deep game, and I really admire what the developer has done with this game here. I'm talking to a grocer, and he has different, food items that he sells for different price, and each one has their own features. You also have people's opinion. What they think of you affects how much they charge you. And again, conversations, you have different choices on what you can talk to them about or whatever. And Mello says, "Hey guys, I got a response from Digital Homicide. What's up, Mello? What happened with that?"
A not smiley face. That's not good. He probably turned you down flat, didn't he?
So here I am, just continuing to talk to more guys. You can sleep. You can choose how much you sleep. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to this game, and you can expect a review to come at some point from me in this game, but it may take me a little bit to get to it and get into it enough to do that. But here's kind of your map, and you can see them over here in Lahori, and you can either travel by train, which you have to pay a fee for, or you can just travel cross country yourself, to save on the fee. But then you have choices as to whether you're going to take this NPC with you or not, if you're going to hurry or go leisurely, sleep outside, sleep inside, which costs you more if you sleep inside. All these different things. Are you going to beg for food? Or are you going to buy food? And it'll show you all the consequences of your choices right here. So pretty deep, pretty cool game. And, you just kind of click where you want to go and you make all these choices. So it looks like a really casual game. And it looks like pretty deep. I'm sure if somebody that really liked this game could spend tons of time in this game.
Anyway, it looks like Mello's put up what has put up what Digital Homicide had to say. Quote, the information you're asking about game development is readily available on our website. My blog on our website discusses several topics about indie development and helpful tip, singular, for new developers on basic game development workflow. You can easily find this information on our website. We won't be doing an interview. There is no need for follow-up emails or additional questions. Thank you for contacting and have a great day. Digital Homicide. Digital Homicide.
So they don't want no part of that.
No, they know they're going to assume that we're going to do the same thing that Jim Sterling did to them, and they're going to look like idiots. And quite frankly, they're probably right. Mm-hmm. Since you and I and Mello all have experience in game development already, we know what the workflow looks like, and we know they're not doing it.
Well, as big as Digital Homicide has become with all the people talking about them, I would guess that we aren't only the second person that's asked them for an interview. I bet you they've probably been asked at least 100 times by YouTubers for interviews. So, yeah.
And never a nice thing.
But anyway, does anybody have any questions about Kim here, the RPG?
No, I'm good. I don't know about anybody else. That looks like a pretty interesting little game.
Yeah, I mean, I'll kind of say, I mean, I admire what the developer's done. I mean, it's obviously a quality game. Is it something that's really up my alley? Probably not. If I was a fan of that particular author, if I enjoyed reading, older literature or whatever, I'm sure the short story is great, but really not something that's too compelling for me. But for somebody that's a fan of this kind of game or that particular author, I think this is going to be a dream game to them.
Dude, I would jump all over this in a half a minute. That's because I actually happen to like Kipling. I happen to I like
Unrest, Andrew. Is it's real similar to the game Unrest. Is that a good game?
I don't know anything about Unrest, actually.
Yeah, asking Andrew if it's a good game. And I'll give it control back to you because you have, I believe, one more game.
I have one more game now, and then we can start digging into the Greenlight stuff because some of the Greenlight stuff is fun.
Mello's not happy about Digital Homicide turning him down.
I bet not.
It's like I said, that's expected, man. I expected that. Like I said we can ask. You never know, but I said I wouldn't get your hopes up for it.
Oh, he said it's also Unrest. It's also set in India, and it's a story-driven kind of game like this, like the one you were just showing. I'm not sure exactly how we're supposed to pronounce this word here. Goetia is kind of
That'd be
what
my
I've settled
guess.
on.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
It's
I give all the respect out and all the hands out for the developer, for Kim throwing a copy to me to review on the website. I mean, that's an expensive game, so it's one thing for me to get a $5 game from a developer. It's another thing for me to get a $25 game. So that's pretty cool of them, though.
Yeah, I agree. That's actually really neat. All right then. So this is Goetia, and this is a point and clicky type adventure game. With kind of a creepy horror vibe. It's not. I wouldn't necessarily call it a horror game from my experiences with it, which I will be the first to admit I haven't gone through much of it. I got enough footage to get a good grasp of how the mechanics work and a little bit of the story, but I didn't want to play too much of it because, well, spoilers. And if I show footage of the whole game, then people are not gonna, or maybe not gonna want to buy it. I think they should.
And how much is this game?
This one's $15 on Steam. Once again,
Okay.
thank you to Nunya.
Nunya, that's awesome.
He said it. I don't know, probably another half hour or so. I'm guessing, Ant-Man. About another half hour or so for the stream. We're probably not going to hit the 3-hour mark today. We've actually been doing really well as far as getting through the games. Usually it was 3 to 6 games and we were having an hour's worth.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that 3 hours is kind of pushing it. I think most people probably want to, watch a stream in less than 3 hours. So I think Kage and I are really trying to target these things at 2.5 hours or under. Between 2 and 2.5 hours is where we're trying. Our goal on these things, I think.
Goetia.
There you go, Andrew.
Goetia. Okay.
Goetia. I never would have got that one.
I wouldn't have. Nunya has spoken again down there in the chat. If you ever need a game to review in future, just say the word.
Nunya, that's all right, man. I'll wait till the next game comes out. Nunya, you can buy me the Uncharted 4 collector's edition. I think that one's only $129 or something like that. That's the game I'll take from you, bud.
Actually, I've already got one of my games for next week on the schedule. I'm going to do Soma because
Soma is so good.
Yes. Because that seems like it's actually a lot of fun. And I could even split it with you.
Yeah, Soma
but then you got that one too, just for kind of funsies. Yeah,
I already have Soma. Soma's an awesome game. Ant-Man, we'll see you later, man. Good night. Sleep well. Thanks for being
here. And enjoy the rest of your night there, Ant-Man.
Nunya's like, that's half my paycheck, you bastard. I was just kidding.
Oh, actually, I'm kind of hoping to find a way to get my hands on Doom on a release day. That's going to be fun.
Now, Doom, that's a question I have for you before you get into Goetia, as it looks like it's pronounced. I hope that's right, Andrew. Before you get into that, I was going to ask you about Doom. Since you said you and Mello, was that right?
Yeah. Or no, it was Nunya.
Nunya. You guys played that free version. Now, the free content, I kind of took a look at it. It looks like that's just kind of like a multiplayer shooter. Is that what the free version is?
We're going to have that conversation after we've done this one.
After we've done this, okay.
Let's get through the last review here, and then we'll go from there. Yes, this one here is from Square Enix, and generally I can count on Square Enix to do something that is technically competent, even though they tend to vary a little bit in terms of the way their content functions. This
game's made by Square?
It's a Square Enix game.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know that.
Violent references, partial nudity, publisher Square Enix. This is a Square Enix thing.
Very respectable.
But this is one that Square Enix set up the crowdfunding for and all the rest of the stuff. So they they have their own little incubator for this, and it's something that I want to do one of these days is get with that incubator. But I don't have anything that I think is actually worthy at the moment. So But they will do the publishing if you build the game, and they'll even set up all the rest of it.
Oh, nice.
So this is Goetia. I actually played a couple of minutes of it right before I started the footage. I wanted to get the initial footage for it, but I realized that my recording software hadn't actually picked up on it. I hadn't actually started the recording before that, so I had to go back and restart. So that's kind of a thing. Let's see. Come on, Rocket Dot, give it to me.
Now, this game doesn't have. It's not getting a whole lot of reviews anyway. I don't know how many copies it sold, but at only 3 reviews in 3 days almost. That's not. It doesn't look like it's getting a whole lot of interest. Kind of interesting.
Well, and that's actually a shame. It's really kind of a neat little game.
Yeah, for a Square game, you would think you would get more reception.
Well, and it's a $15 game on Steam in a greenlight market that's already pretty well packed. So
yeah,
and that's the other thing we want to talk about. There is I don't actually have any footage of the Doom beta, but I got a chance to go around and have a look and kick the tires a little bit. I didn't get into the multiplayer, but anyway, that's not this, and we're going to move on. Okay, so you have the resume the old game, start a new one, options, and exit game. The options are there's quite a bit more. There's more than I would expect for a game of this type.
Right.
Including the ability to adjust the gamma, which is something that goes pretty well normally. So we're going to start there. And of course, it will tell you if you've already got save game data. It will tell you. They also tell you to put your headset on and play and kind of play in the dark. Okay. So there is our character, and she's going to go have fun here. Well, kind of not really. She's going to talk to herself a little bit. She can still move. She can also see. She is a ghost. She's going to go up here. She can have a look around. Your WASD moves the character around the screen, and you can right or left click on things to see what they've actually got. To see some of the options they've got. She's asking for her father, her mother, and her big sister. They have a journal, which I'm going to check out here in a second.
Which you can do at any time by hitting the J key. It looks like.
Yep. And that will actually tell her story. She remembers the fall and her final scream, and she doesn't understand what's going on. But she thinks she needs help.
And she needs to find her family. She said.
Well, I think she's a little late for that.
Poor girl.
It was a bit more impressive. It used to be a bit more impressive.
Yeah, looks kind of creepy now.
Yeah, it's been out here a while.
Age is hard on things and people.
By holding control, you can highlight every noticeable element in the scene, and magnifying glasses will appear on every clickable object. So, and unfortunately, this is kind of as big as it gets. Sorry about that. I do like the art style. It's actually rather nice and kind of consistent. I wanted to see if I could actually go through to actually go up into the moon and see what that was going. Maybe I can go through it.
See you, Nunya. Thanks for buying Kage's game and for the review. And you have a good night, man. We'll hit you up.
I'll hit you up. We'll drag you to TeamSpeak after we're done. Should be probably about 30-40 minutes. All right. And yeah, I've got about 20 minutes worth of footage here to kind of chew over. A lot of it's just me checking out various items. Let's skip forward a little bit here. I managed to find our way into the house. Okay. And some of these areas are blocked. They're blocked with little sigils. You have to figure, and near as I can think, you have to figure out what the sigils are and how they work, and etc. But both of these doorways are blocked. You can't get through those walls. So I go down and back through here into the main house. And she's not quite clear on the whole ghost thing. It's impossible. It's terrifying, but rather handy. Yeah, I can imagine why you think that.
Wow.
That is kind of handy.
Yeah, no kidding.
Being able to pass through walls and stuff. But being a ghost is kind of the way that would work. So, and of course, because I'm an inveterate adventure gamer, I'm going through and I look and click on everything. If it looks like it might be amusing, then I'm going to do it.
Well, I mean, that's the way. I mean, that's what you want to do in this kind of a game too, Kage. I mean,
you want to check and see if there's anything
you're not
going
wondering
on
through a
around
game
here.
like this.
Oh, I don't ever do that. But this is a game you could play for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours on end, and not get through it, and really and still have some fun.
Mm-hmm.
Say, I don't recognize this chair. Where'd this come from? I was thinking that might be a hole into another room, but it's all done in this kind of 2D plane here. Everything is still dilapidated. Well, yeah, it suggests the passage of time. And the really important things they get little sparklies, which don't seem to have turned up. Something about this fading troubles me, but I can't tell what. There you go. This actually had sparklies on it originally. And notice the little symbols on under the floor. Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Property Alexander Hodgkin, but she doesn't actually know that name. Father's office is safe haven, the place where he did all of his experiments, esoteric or otherwise. She likes it, but yeah. What will he do? What will he do if he somehow recognizes me? Maybe I should find out more hints about what's going on before I see him. Of course, this means I have to backtrack now. And that's where I was kind of wishing for the teleports that are in Enter the Gungeon.
Right.
Can't go down without that sigil or whatever it is. We're gonna find out what those sigils are here in a little bit after I go upstairs. But I could get through the floor, but I couldn't go down, which means there's probably something under the floor in the other room that I haven't been able to get to yet. Okay. The clock is just a picture. It doesn't do anything. Huh? Who's that? I'm thinking, well, maybe I should look at it again. Nope, it just said the same. It just does the same thing. That picture actually, that woman actually does not have a mouth if you look at it. Well, obviously, if your electricity. Let's go through here. Oh, there's one. There's a couple of bits of sparklies. Okay, there's some symbols there. He's trying to figure them out, and that's actually the one symbol there. That's one of the actual symbols.
Wow.
When they get it worked out, I think somebody was actually trying to figure out what it was. You can open the codex, and I didn't do that at this point. I don't think I even noticed that message up in the upper right. Note hidden between the pages. The handwriting's rather clumsy. It doesn't look much different from mine. It's Edwards, Alexander, and I sneaked into Father's laboratory, and we found something interesting. There's this weird powder. I will show you how it reveals hidden writings. Know this: you just have to pour the powder on the paper to reveal the ink. Alexander told me to keep some of it. Now we can start writing coded messages. R. And I don't know who R is, but me. Okay, so R. And the clocks, in fact, aren't working. But she's not particularly worried about it just now. Those clocks are probably a puzzle that they did somewhere. Books on botany and chemistry. She doesn't need those right now, which again means she probably will. We probably will later. Remember where that is for another time. But there's something over here. I'm not sure what. Oh, there we go. And here's our first. Why would anybody hide the Virgin Mary behind lock and key? And now this is where you can actually possess it. And this is a thing that I do for the rest of this playthrough is spent wandering around as the Virgin Mary. And of course, note the switch. It's a switch. Ooh, in the cupboard. The key. Counting invoices, deeds of property, and ooh, what's that? And there's a certificate of death for 4 people. Or actually, it looks like I think it was just your father. But you've got that. There's a lot of it's a huge mystery going on around the house, and you've got to try and figure out what it is. I don't have a lot of playtime with it at this point, but that's something I actually do intend to do at some point, is go in and play this to its logical conclusion. And I managed to get this far. Actually, I think I just sat and stared at it for a little while to make sure I was actually reading that right. Okay, now I'm back downstairs, and we're going to go into her father's office. And that opened the door. Click. Wander around in here for a little while. So, this is a game that I actually rather liked.
Mm-hmm.
If only because it's calm compared to what's gone on before, to some of the other games that I've done there that I did this week. At the same time, there's enough mystery to it to actually keep me looking around and poking my nose in places that it probably shouldn't. This is actually a thing that Abigail herself wrote.
Wow.
It says A at the bottom. Apparently, it would seem that the thing that went on with her falling out of the upper window and dying was not intentional. Was an accident. I actually went back and forth across this to really read it.
Wow, there's a lot there to read too.
Well, it is quite a bit of reading, but usually these games are to a large degree. I don't know if there we go. That's a little further into that journal, and it actually tells kind of what was going on. The 5 demons and their little symbols. We've seen these symbols in a few places now. That one there was blocking the doors to the upstairs, through that window. This one was blocking the floors in the room next to the left of this one. But I'm guessing this, I think if I remember correctly, this was written by her older sister.
Oh, really?
Much later.
Okay.
That was 22 July of some year or another. And Abigail, who often mocked my terror when faced with father's experiments, can she only see me today? There's some more information there. She's still hunting around. That's January of the following year. And she's just about ready. And then we have an ink smudge here at the end. That was actually the last page of it. I think I actually killed it right after, not too terribly long afterwards. It went upstairs in the study and came out in another room. Yes. Event, and I think this is just feathers falling in. And see, there's another one of those symbols, the blue symbols.
Is the game worth $15, Kage? To you?
Could be. It could very easily be. I've only finished 5% of the game. It was 20 minutes, and I'm 20 minutes in. Chances are it'll make it. If it's entertaining enough, I might actually forgive it if it's shorter than 15 hours. But it actually
sounds like 8 to 12 hours would be the playtime on that.
Yeah, give or
Like
take a little bit, but it seems like it's entertaining.
Mhm.
Uh, it seems like I was fairly well entertained. Most of the games that I played this week, actually, I didn't have a lot of bad things to say about it. Oh, and here we go. Ella's got some digital homicide advice. Apparently, he says he's on Digital Homicide's blog, and this is some of the most dishonest advice he's ever seen. Can you afford to be financially and emotionally? Can you afford financially and emotionally to fail? It's going to happen. If the very first game you make is a huge success, congratulations, you just won the lottery. More than likely, it is going to take significant financial investment, thousands of hours of your time, and a willingness to accept failure and try again. You know what? If you can't accept failure, then you shouldn't be in a given field of endeavor. Then you shouldn't be doing it.
Right.
You should do something that you're a little more confident in, and that's my entire thinking on the matter.
There's
Um,
really only one. There's really only one question I think that I guess there's more than one
and
question, but the
actually,
biggest question I think I'd have for
this game released yesterday. It's got 3 reviews,
yep,
and
that's what I'm
it'll have
saying.
it'll have at least one more before noon tomorrow. So anyway, back to what you were saying, Zach.
I was gonna say if there's just one question that I'd really like to ask Digital Homicide about their games, is I would really like to know how they would respond to the question: do you guys enjoy playing your own games? You know, do you sit down and play the Slaughtering Grounds? Do you sit down and play Temper Tantrum and enjoy it? I'd
Or
really like to know the response to that. That would be interesting to me. I'm sure
play
they'd lie
Temper
through their teeth
Tantrum
and say, "Oh yeah, we play it all the time. It's great
or
fun."
Starship Nova Strike or any of these others.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I don't see that. I don't know how they could,
And
unless
if they
they've
don't
got
enjoy playing their own games, how can they get mad at negative reviews? You know?
there's a certain amount of professional pride that needs to go on, and they just don't have it.
Hmm.
It's not there. I only have zero point 0.1 hours on Krog Wars.
Yeah, I guess we don't need to ask them, do we, Mello?
Well, given that I spent more time playing Krog Wars than they did, then yeah, probably not. But yeah, that was Goetia. I had fun with it. You might, if you're into adventure games and the kind of point and clicky and the kind of pointy clicky things,
Hmm.
then you probably enjoy it too. If you don't like the kind of slow pace and creepy with the creepy environments and stuff, then you probably won't.
Yeah, this doesn't look like, honestly, this doesn't look like a game that I would even spend $1.99 on, much less 15. But that's just me.
Well,
I really don't like point and click games. However, it might be really interesting if you really get into the writing and reading the not the lore, but just really getting into the whole theme of it.
yeah, this actually reminds me a lot of Vernon's Legacy, only in a point and click adventure as opposed to having to run around like someone's trying to chop
Mhm.
off your genitals.
That's like
Um,
Myst. I mean, Myst was kind of like that too, with amazing graphics when it first came out, and it just never
mhm.
really appealed to me.
If you like the Broken Sword games, or Day of the Tentacle / Grim Fandango, Sam and Max, that kind of thing, then yeah, you probably could really get into this. It's actually worth,
Hmm.
as far as I'm concerned, and of course I haven't played it a whole lot. Um, you'll probably get on with it pretty well. I haven't seen any like massive inventory puzzles, which is a nice thing. The idea here is to kind of draw you into the mystery, and you have to try and figure it out. It doesn't seem like it's a lot of mindless clicky work, which is a
Right?
good
Yeah,
thing.
mindless clicky work is not good. Mello says he liked Broken Sword, so he might like the that game.
And I would encourage you to try it out. I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? You put out what, about 10 pound? You put out 10 pounds, and then you, oh yeah, no, I actually have one of the Jack Orlando games, and I wasn't real thrilled with it either. There are ways to do adventure games badly. Jack Orlando was one. Um, so was A New Beginning. funnily enough, that was actually just kind of a the writing and the translations, they used just horrid. And I don't know if it's actually just a translation issue where they just couldn't come up with the right words, or they dumped it all into Google Translate and tried to clean it up, and maybe that didn't work so well. Except that they actually got voice acting for it in English. So I don't know. It just seems like it's just decrepit. Um, it's got that kind of grammar thing where I want to climb the friggin' walls and beat people with sticks. Yeah, I actually have it. I actually have that game in my library. You're welcome to play it if you want, Miller.
So Kage, just a question for you on the live stream, and I, you don't have to go into whole details or anything like that, but I haven't looked it up or anything like that. But what do you guys think about MCNs? What do is that what they're called, MCNs? The
multi-channel networks.
Multi-channel network. Are you part of an MCN or no?
I am not part of an MCN. I have been invited to a couple of them that were really low level, that put restrictions on what I couldn't do, to such a degree that I couldn't actually even own my own channel anymore.
Right.
In exchange for anywhere from 30 to 50% of what they make, of what my channel makes, after YouTube gets their 50%. And no, I'm not going to do that. I have no intention of doing that. And some of them actually require that I get 1,000 views, 1,000 or 10,000 views a day. I don't. Actually, my average numbers right now range in about, as far as views go, are somewhere in the neighborhood of 200. There are a couple of major networks that might take me if I begged and pleaded nicely. But then I'm still gonna get screwed because I'm too small. It's really not worth, until I get the size of Total Biscuit, I'm probably not gonna get anywhere like that.
I've never, as a small YouTuber, I can't see where any MCN would really be beneficial. They always promise that they're going to help you get more views and subscribers and help you with copyright claims.
It never seems to quite happen like that. But if you've got a really good network like, say, Total Biscuit, then they help him with copyright strikes all the time. I wouldn't get the places that have invited me. They wouldn't do that, or they might not even be able to. I mean, an MCN that's just getting started is not going to be great as far as, and then they want me to back channels on Twitter and that's actually part of the contract. Go like this, go subscribe and like to this channel, and then brag about it on Twitter and on Facebook and shit, and they want your Facebook and they want your information for Twitter or Facebook so that they can do it themselves if they have to. And the answer to that question is no. I'm not going to do that. If it was someplace where they were going to give me, say, if they were only going to take, say, 25% or so of my revenue, and they were big enough that they could really have an effect, that I might consider it, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, even me with as many videos as I have, I mean, I don't get that many views per day. I mean, it looks like I'm averaging 5,000 to 6,000 views per day. I mean, sometimes I hit up to 25,000 a day, 10,000 a day. But I mean, for as many videos as I have, though, I really don't get that many views, all things considering. So,
well, I've got, with this one here, I would have probably about 85 or so. 80, somewhere between 80 and 85 videos. So it's kind of a thing there. Yeah, multi-channel networks are not a thing that interests me at the moment. So
Mel says you can still put reviews onto Chow.
It's a website called Chow. He's already shown it to me. I haven't gotten around to it, mostly because they don't do indie games.
Oh, they don't do indie games?
Not that I've seen, but then I could be wrong. There was like iOS apps and such, but
there's no bull crap like the copyright stuff.
Yeah, you just have to be very careful when you're doing the whole copy paste thing, because somebody will try and say that you stole your review from someplace else. And when, of course, you don't need permission for copyright because you're the one that wrote the damn thing. But people don't necessarily know that. Wait, so moving on, I think it's time to drop about 10 or 15 minutes into green light, and we can kind of wrap this up. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, what are we looking at Greenlight today? What we looking at more digital homicide stuff, or
I'm just gonna grab. I'm gonna grab a couple of them here at random, and we're gonna see what they look like. Because that would be kind of interesting. Because that would be kind of interesting, and we never know what we're gonna get. I think I'm gonna start with the top of my voting queue here. This thing called Tranky's World.
okay?
This is the Steam Greenlight trailer for Tranky's World. This is the official trailer. Wait, what did that say? Oh, this one's from Brazil. Oh, wow, cool. Yeah. Brazil has actually got a control the Trankies with your arms. Looks like complete motion control. Help your friends. So you would probably need a camera for this.
Yeah, you're gonna need a camera for that, and you know, I remember when the PS3 first came out with their motion controllers and Xbox had Kinect and everything like that. I thought that was really cool. Remember, you know, when they were doing it at E3 and stuff like that before either one of those.
Who says you could play drunk?
But in reality, those motion controls they don't work that good, to be honest with you.
Well, that's actually kind of unless it's like the Wii, they actually managed to get it managed to get it mostly working. It's really a question of accelerometers in the Wii controllers as opposed to the motion controls that were designed for the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation. So yeah, this looks like it could be amusing if you were willing to use your webcam for it. Little guys jumping around and play the motion control thing. I doubt it's going to be very useful with a controller. An amazing battle.
Looks like a party game to get together with your friends and have fun with.
You know what? Yeah, that would actually be most of it. It looks like it's kind of a PvP thing. I mean, it doesn't look bad. It actually looks like it could be kind of amusing.
But as far as being a game that you or I want to set and play in at 2:00 in the morning, Kage, probably not.
Well, if we were in the same room, we could probably do it.
Yeah, the same room, but
you live clear the hell over there, and I don't. I'm clear the hell over here. So graphically, it looks okay. It's it doesn't look like it would be a huge problem, but this motion control thing really could cause an issue, especially if it has a problem tracking quick motions. And it looks like it's something that you would actually need twitchy type motions for. So that's going to be kind of a no-go.
Mello says, check out Go for Launch Mercury. It looks amazing.
Okay. That's actually the next one on my voting queue. Let me actually just let me drop an Ask Me Again later on that, and we'll go to the next item in the queue because that would be the next. Nope. Nope. Come on. Go for Launch Mercury. Let's have a look. And this is a sim. This is apparently a space program sim, and anybody who knows me really well would know that I love space and kind of the things that went to it.
Now, when you say you love space, do you love like the whole idea of exploration and finding
absolutely
that have life?
Exploration, science, the whole bit. Okay. I'm a big Star Trek and Doctor Who fan too, so. The Project Mercury capsules are almost more a suit than a spacecraft, actually. Of course, you can't. This here, you can't really see you can't see yourself, but and those flame effects don't look all that great. But if the simulation is accurate enough, it would actually be a lot of fun. It looks like it would be really, really, really interesting. But then again, that's a meeting. Past the first 24.
Yeah, space is cool. I mean, and space is, I think, always intriguing people because there's so much mystery with space. Like, what's out there? how big is it?
Hey, check it out. And the controls look pretty simple. Well, they would have been. The Mercury controls weren't any real great shakes. Fairly realistic cockpit interiors. I've actually seen the inside of
That's cool.
one of. I actually got a chance while I was in DC the last time to take a look at the inside of Mercury capsule real quick. Actually had one of the recovered Mercury capsules. 7. But yeah, it's the graphics look kind of nice, and just the idea of being able to simulate Project Mercury would be kind of cool.
That would
in
be
my
kind of
opinion.
Cool.
Hopefully they'll do Gemini and Apollo after that, so go do a moon landing. Okay, I'm gonna click a yes on this one because I'm just like that. All right, let's back up here. Let's take a look. Let's get a couple of the recent submissions. That's a visual novel. That's not going to be a whole lot of. Oh, this ought to be interesting. Warzone. This is the Stream Greenlight trailer for Warzone, and we're going to just kind of check this out here. Claw Games. I have never heard of them. And I hope that's just an art style thing and not a we got lazy thing. It looks lazy. Looks low poly. Looks like a seriously low poly kind of lazy.
It's a massively multiplayer game, huh?
Ooh, action massively multiplayer shooter, which means I'm probably not going to want a whole lot to do with it to begin with. Oh gods, really, people?
Kind of reminds me of that big game that came out, the zombie game. What was it called? That looked like that. Untouched, I think was the name of it, something like that.
Yeah, that's a unit, or not. That wouldn't be Untouched. It would be I forget. Causality. I'll look at that one in a few minutes there, Mello. No, that wasn't it. It was another game that Unturned.
There we go.
That was actually a Unit Z project. That was a project flip of Unit Z. They took Unit Z, they tossed it into Unity, they compiled it, and then they published it.
Well, what I heard of
it actually, it looks like
you
could set up your little map thing, and then go wander around with an Uzi in your hand and kill people that look like blocks with heads that, well, okay, never mind. Player 760, yeah, that's really original. Check that out. Looks like
Mello says you're thinking of Uncrowded, the asset.
Uncrowded, that's it.
Yeah, I was talking about Unturned. Yeah.
So
Unturned was made like a 14 or 15-year-old kid. I think it's pretty impressive for.
Well, yeah, for that it would be. But it's about a unique world, different roles, and a different style. I'm not sure this is so much a style as it is a lack of desire to learn how to model. You know, I don't know if what they did here. This just looks like shit. Let's see. Description. Warzone is a multiplayer first-person shooter game. Well, great. That means I can't play by myself. It's about a unique world, different rules, and a different style. Well, what's different about the rules? I don't see anything different about the rules. Main idea is that all players enjoy their time without having any weapon at the start of the game, but everything will change once you hear the alarm. 8 players go through 4 gates! Double exclamation point, comma, just make sure you get your guns before the enemy does. Right, okay. I can't say that I'm impressed. Oh, and Squadalax said another asset flip, and tells the guy to eat fecal matter. That's just okay. Is one thing that could be improved. The player model, fun with friends, or an all-around free for all. Keep it up. It doesn't look like it's actually going to be free. It was just put up here a few hours ago. Put up less than 12 hours at this point. Some some other form of interacting with the computer guaranteed world generated world beyond touching everything with projectiles and other weapons. That guy wouldn't pay for it. Low poly, check. Correction for this game, check. Yeah. The main character has no hands. Okay, I'm guessing this is probably going to take a while to greenlight. I'm not going to play the interested party.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. And Mello said to check out Causality. So we're going to. Causality, aha. Ooh, a sci-fi action RPG.
There you go.
rimwave.com/c/logoweb.png. Okay. The Terran Federation is in danger. An unknown enemy. Blah blah blah. Okay. Let's have a look. This is a Steam Greenlight trailer for Causality by a place called Rimware, and it's done in Unreal 4, of course.
Very nice.
Unreal 4 actually is really nice for that. Oh boy. And this is supposed to be an action RPG. It looks like a shooter. It looks like a straight up twin stick shooter. Okay. Systems with perfectly round orbits. That never happens. Original story. I don't get it, but okay. Oh, we have at least choices. Looks like just kind of a little top-down thing here. You got some abilities that you can buy.
Power-ups and stuff, yeah.
Power-ups and stuff. I think I'd prefer a simulator, honestly. It looks competent.
For what type of game it's trying to be, yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, you've got some fun things that you can do with it. Improvements to your ship that actually change the friggin' model, which is good. I like it. Fighting hordes of enemies all at once. Yeah, this is definitely twin stick shooter time.
Mm-hmm. Looks like a pretty good one at that, though.
Well, it doesn't look like it would be bad at that, but again, I'm thinking about my hands and going, do I wanna? It looks like it could be fairly competent, but I'm not sure. We're going to have a look. I'll give it an upvote just to see what it looks like later. And no, I'm not going to make any comments. What do we got down here? Anything fun? Oh, they actually answered some questions. And
it's always nice to see.
Yep, Mello has chimed in. There's probably a lot of feedback. There's apparently a lot of feedback. Looks like the kind
of game I would like as well, Mello.
Hundreds of worlds to explore. It looks like they're just various backgrounds that don't seem to influence the map in any way. Well, that could be possible. But it looks like the developer has actually been in here and had a look around, talking to people. Mixing it up RPG makes me uninterested. Sci-fi games are good games now. What? No, there's some really bad sci-fi games, dude.
Yeah.
But they're right. It doesn't look bad. It looks like it could have some serious potential, and I'm completely okay with that. I'd like to see how it goes. So that wasn't hurtful. Okay. Let's see, what else have we got? Waves of Fate. This could be interesting. They already used the word epic in their description, so got that Landstalker look to it, actually.
Yeah, classic style for sure.
The 3/4 ISO is not actually my favorite. Well, if it's RPG, of course that's going to be a feature. That guy's trying to whack death on the head, apparently. Use powerful spells to teleport around the battlefield and obliterate your enemies. Play as death himself. Okay. The UI doesn't look all that great. It looks like I said before, it looks like something I could get on. Oh, and it's a strategy RPG thing. People seem to think that strategy games like that are RPGs because they have level systems.
Hmm.
I don't see that as actually being the case.
Right.
It's a strategy game. It's a strategy game, and your people get better because they have more experience. That's okay. It does not actually make it. It does not an actual RPG make. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna go for Ask Me Later.
Yeah, I mean that one's really going to depend on the price. I mean,
Yeah, that's.
would I pay $2.99 for that? Yeah, probably. Would I pay $9.99? No. No.
I wouldn't pay a significant amount of money for it. I paid quite a bit
Yeah.
for Landstalker, though. That was actually a pretty good game. Um, let's see. Oh, this ought to be fun. This is a Steam greenlight trailer for Zero G Arena, an action shooter with really strange-looking physics. In Zero G, you have to actually keep control of your limbs, or you're going to wind up breaking something, especially if you're hitting walls at high speeds. Oh, look, Spider-Man. Okay, and this is not Zero G, obviously, because you're actually falling towards walls. Obviously, the environment does have some kind of gravity to it, or you just kind of float there.
Exactly.
These are
It's
people
one of
that,
those crazy. This is one of those crazy physics games, is what this is.
and the reason I think they're referring to it as Zero G is because they didn't want to screw with actually having proper physics. And they
Exactly.
wanted to go bouncing all over the playfield. I can see where this would go really, really badly if you weren't paying attention. Falling off the edge of the map in an Unreal tournament, in an Unreal game, or a Unity game like this, bad day. And then of course you've
Mhm.
got the same character models. Um, it's a straight up multiplayer game. It doesn't say whether or not it's online or massively multiplayer, but without a second player, you'd probably be boned. They could have done a lot better with this, I think, in terms of the graphics.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the preview video. That's the highlights.
Yeah, and oh, here's a pre-alpha trailer.
What they don't
Walking
show
in,
you is your character falling through the world and all that
and of
bullshit.
course the UI is really clever looking. You can swing or pull with a grapple beam, which doesn't really look all wall jumping, defeating opponents.
It almost looks like they better be careful with a red and white looking character that looks a lot like Spider-Man slinging webs.
The red and blue
Or-
thing there. Yeah.
yeah, that looks like that could be a copyright lawsuit to me.
Well, I don't know that it would be. It's not that similar
I don't
considering the rest
know.
of the gameplay. Marvel could take a dim view of it, or they might not. I don't know.
If I was Marvel, I think I'd be trying to shut that one down.
Or at least giving them a nice warning.
Yeah, exactly. If I was
Well,
Marvel, I wouldn't risk some piece of shit $2 game giving Spider-Man a bad reputation.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. It's entirely possible that the player models themselves can be modified by the player,
Could
and that
be.
was something they can't control.
That's true.
So
Yeah, if it's customizable, yeah, they can't control it, but
this, I don't think I would have put it in my alpha video, but
mhm.
and that's actually more orange than red. If you look at it in a brighter area like that, see.
Okay.
And it looks like I think the magnetics for the floors activate when you make contact with them. There's his leg breaking in half, and then him jumping onto his feet. Hey guys, bad physics is bad physics, and if you really want to be torps about it and start talking about Zero G, you don't want to do that with the. You don't want to do it with the graph with your physics all screwed up. Just remember Mr. Newton's first law of motion: for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Okay, if
Yep.
it was really Zero G, you wouldn't be able to do a lot of this. So your title's a little misleading here, and yeah.
I don't even think this one will make green light. I'll be surprised if this one. Even
Well,
gets
if it makes green light, people are going to take into account that it's probably that this is pre-alpha footage, so it's probably barely functional, and Maybe they'll improve the graphics before they're ready to release it. I don't think they will, but they might. ZeroGArena.com. Yeah, if your UI needs some work, just you're off to something that looks like it might be a start. See, there's one in white and red. There's a yellow and orange, and looks like two-tone gray.
Granted, it still looks better than anything Digital Homicide has made as of yet, but
well, you know what? Honestly, a dead rat in the middle of in the middle of a garbage dump looks better than most of Digital Homicide. Okay, Dungeons and Crackmore looks better than everything else that they've done, but this recent stuff they've done looks like garbage, and I probably owe the nearest landfill an apology. So
Digital Homicide is somehow proud of being the laughing stock of indie developers.
Well, they're actually pretty much the laughing stock of game development overall.
Mm-hmm.
And
I don't think this lawsuit against Jim Sterling has helped them much with what people think of them either.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Especially not with the amount of coverage that got, especially from YouTubers more popular than we are.
Mello wants you to take a look at Prehistoric Tales.
Prehistoric Tales. It's a mobile game. I haven't seen a mobile game in a while, and we're actually headed for that 3-hour mark. So we're only going to do probably 1 or 2 more.
Yeah. See
Prehistoric Tales, and I'll see if I can't find one more. Let's see. You sure that's what it's called? Because I'm not getting a result here, Mello. Let's browse everything.
Ant-Man says, Zaxter says, looks better than what Digital Homicide has made. Shots been fired.
Shots fired. Shots fired. You know what? Actually, I'll be honest with you. Actually, I got a question for you. If you had a choice between playing a half-finished Insanity Alley or Mobile Food Madness and owning everything that Digital Homicide has made, which would you take?
Mobile Food Madness, not even a doubt. Without a doubt, I'd take Mobile Food Madness.
Okay. How about the other one? Insanity Alley.
Insanity Alley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what it is.
It's Insanity Alley. Was the other game you played that day?
Oh,
the RPG. I referred to both of my own games there. All right, this is a Steam Greenlight trailer for
I've already forgot about
Tales.
it. So must show you what I think of it.
It was the one where you nearly got your ass kicked by some rats.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I would choose your game over anything Digital Homicide has made, dude.
Adventure Capitalist is a mobile game. This is apparently a mobile port of something called Adventure Capitalist. Is that what you're hearing there, Ant-Man? Is that what you're saying?
Adventure Capitalist is a mobile game. It's already released.
Okay, so this looks kind of like your traditional 4X / strategy RPG thing. Take a break from complicated RPGs and strategy. Play Prehistoric Tales today. I'm not sure. Wow. I know what you're talking about. Mobile Food Madness was actually one of the games that I made years ago. Yeah, on the bonus stream, where we played each other's games for a little while.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why I was thinking you was talking about an actual Steam game with the Insanity thing. Yeah.
Insanity Alley was an RPG Maker game that I mentioned it earlier. So I spent a few hundred hours working on that.
Mm-hmm.
It's badly incomplete. It's buggy as shit. It's not well balanced, and I've still spent more than 3 times as much time on that than they say what that Digital Homicides it says they put on one of their titles. So this looks like, you know what? I don't think I'd get this one. I'm not a huge fan of 4X. And strategy RPGs are kind of meh for me most of the time. And I don't there's nothing here really to interest me. It's got kind of the resource gathering thing, Warcraft / StarCraft style. As a mobile port, I don't see myself playing this kind of a thing. Adventure
I
Capital.
tend to stay away from mobile ports for the most part.
Well, I've seen a few mobile ports that are actually pretty competent.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Okay. Let's go back to some more of the greenlighty stuff. We already covered Zero G Arena. Let's get recent submissions to see if any of this looks like crap. Muppy the Bunny. This ought to be fun. This is the Steam Greenlight trailer for Muppy the Bunny. This is the version 3 trailer. I'm kind of wondering what happened. See, here's the I'm young and silly defense already. That's already been whipped out with awesome graphics. Intense gameplay, with intense misspelled. I don't even know what's going on here. An extreme challenge. I think the extreme challenge would actually be to see what's even going on, and that's it. That's it. Is that all? I'm not even sure which bunny is supposed to be yours. I am Alexander. It might be. If you want to have a look at it there, Mello. Two haters. If you hate my game, please give a reason that is valid, quote unquote. I updated the description, yet people are still going on about the old version. So search before you post. Description: on vacation, Muppy and his friends set off to Bunzica. So little did they know is being controlled by King Dark. You must find a magical jelly bean in order to save the world of Bunzica. Okay. The quote-unquote only game made by a 15-year-old on Steam Greenlight. That's actually that may not actually be true. Here's a complaint that the dev is deleting comments and making bans. Someone Jim Sterling, please.
See, I was talking about shots being fired. Yeah. So I'm saying, Jim, Digital Homicide has now made themselves the butt of the whole indie developers. I mean, everybody uses the words Digital Homicide as a joke when it comes to indie gaming nowadays.
Well, I'm thinking, seriously, folks, shots fired.
Yeah, big time.
Oh man. I think I'm gonna go click on this here. I'm gonna do something really, really mean to this kid. Okay, come on. Nope. I don't need the rest of it. I just need this bit. Okay, go away. Then I'm going to feed it into the other window because I'm going to be an ass here in just a second. All right. So I think I'm actually going to do a separate video on this just to be kind of a silly. The Electronic Bunny 33 is actually a YouTube channel. I had a little card in there for a moment. And they've got a whole 7 subscribers. And they uploaded this in 360p, which is probably part of why it looks like as much crap as it is. But, amazing graphics. Let's talk about amazing graphics. It's a 36-second video, and I'm going to run it again just because I feel like being a jerk. It's 3 little bunnies, and you have to guess which one is yours. Little jumpy things, the crabs, awesome graphics. Awesome graphics indeed, my friends. Intense gameplay, begin with intense. Yeah, I don't even know what the hell's supposed to be going on here. I just see a bunch of white things that are just jumping around the screen. And there's the thing suggested by that. Let's see. Let's see if we've got any more. Let's see if they've got any other videos on their channel. I'm fairly certain they do. They may have the version 1 and 2 trailers. Well, that was a quick one. Let's see. Videos. Well, they've got lots of them. 333. They just put. Oh wow. Okay, we're gonna go overtime here. A little bit overtime. Here's the original Muppy the Bunny trailer. Let's see. Muppy the Bunny. There we go. This is their original version. That's actually apparently where you start each level. Jump, jump, jump. And that's actually looks like the same gameplay stuff as before. Looks like they've tried to make some improvements on the graphics. And that's the end of the stage. Little coins and no indication of like a score or anything in this first bunk. I don't know if you like if you were a big fan of Mario Brothers just with crap graphics, then I don't know, maybe you might be okay with it. I don't know. I'm really not. To click that off because it's a 1 second video. It says stop. See what else we got for Muppy. And here's version 2. 25 more seconds. Ooh, this one has sound because the first one didn't. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can filter them by genre. What is it? Version 2 of the trailer has no video at all. No video of any kind.
Great.
There's a compilation of about a minute for Muppy the Bunny. It looks like they actually tried to do some animation, so I'll give them this. They didn't recycle assets. That's what the most I can say for it, because this is just ridiculous. And it looks like I see what happened. They tried to do it in 3D and it didn't fly. Was this a cutscene that they were doing? Or something?
Who knows?
I don't have the foggiest idea. What am I watching? Yeah, I don't know if I can. You know what? I'm gonna go check that because I'm just gonna stick this guy. I'm gonna stick this guy off in the corner with his really.
It's an orange rabbit.
With several orange rabbits. There's not much exciting in there at all. Oh, I didn't say replay, damn you. You go over there again. All right. So let's see if we can. We might be able to split it up by items to revisit. Oh, you can. Okay. Oh, Muppy the Bunny was apparently a web series the kid did, and now he's building. And now he's trying to make games out of them. Let's see. Don't do that. Back. Do that shit to me. Because reasons. And what sort of critter do we? Somebody pick me a genre. Somebody pick me a game category. Something that's on the list.
No,
Zach. Let's let the chat do it.
Oh, the chat.
If they don't come up with something, then we'll figure out something at random. Okay, Mello wants RPG. Let's do RPG. Okay, let's see what they call RPGs some days. The Survivor, Home Behind, looks like it's Chinese. Causality, Void Ship, Depths of Dread. Fast-paced strategic battles. Want to customize your own party. Looks like a real-time strategy game, not an RPG. Ant-Man was going to say the same thing. Revenge Goblin Deep. Okay. Survive in Space. I don't know why people seem to think that survival games are RPGs. Oh dear. Let's do. It's a 3D platformer escaping bot, and with puzzle and strategy elements, game made using Unreal Engine 4, and that's actually the basic Unreal test character. Calamity Living Among Death. That's going to be a zombie sort of game. I didn't really change the name from their thing. Zia and the Goddesses of Magic. Unforgiving Trials. Let's zip up here to Depths of Dread, because this is maybe not that one. Roguelike game. Play as a refugee. Keep moving on and finally get to Europe. Okay, that's got to be the thing. That's got to be the serious thing. Let's do Goblin Deep. Each other for Goblin Deep Revenge. They did that in reverse on the little picture over there. Built better. Oh, it's a tower defense game. How does that make it an RPG?
That's what I was wondering.
Maybe they did it in RPG Maker, and if they did, that would be kind of somewhat clever. That would at least be remotely clever. It just looks like tower defense to me. Equip your allies, so you can go clicky, move and change your gear. That does not an RPG make. Don't have much longer on this, or it is defeated. Yeah, I don't get it. Trying to destroy all the things on the right-hand side of the screen without getting killed. I suppose that would make it a reverse tower defense game. Yeah, no kidding, Mel. He says, great RPG here, guys. Yeah, that's... if you're selling it as an RPG, this isn't going to work. Not an RPG. It's still in development at the moment. It's built on the established engine that built Rescue from Goblin Deep. They're looking at completing it in July. A new horde of goblins moved in the day after the previous game, so we don't even have the previous game. This is a tower defense style game. You can use towers, traps, or characters to wipe out the goblins. You can also maze them, but don't block them in or they will get mad and attack everything. And of course, you can't let a single... Yeah, that's... Okay, folks, not an RPG. Let's kind of...
great RPG there, guys.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, welcome to Ahana, Exile to Death, Lords of the Earth Flame. That could be really good or really, really, really bad. Earthlings the game. That's another pixel art game. I don't want to pick on that too hard. Okay. Next genre, please. Come on, one more. One more. I'm sure you guys have got one more in you somewhere. Ooh, Mello says horror. Anybody? Any other votes? Any other votes? Come on. Let's have another vote.
You only have 2 people watching you, dude, and I'm one of them, so.
Oh, well. No, Ant-Man should still be in there.
Oh, okay.
Well, Ant-Man was there a minute ago. Ant-Man and Mello, so.
You might have left.
I don't. Well, he usually says I'm going to go away now. You might be, actually. Let's have a look at. Okay, let's have a look at horror. Through Abandoned 2, The Forest. Continue your journey from a previous game. Oh, here we go. This ought to be fun. Otherworld Hospital.
Oh boy.
And this one's almost 2 minutes. Oh, Ant-Man says action.
There's Ant-Man.
Yep. We'll do one more. We'll do one more action so that he can get. Well, actually, this doesn't look horrible in terms of like graphical style. Oh, we're dead. We're already dead. So I suppose they can't kill us. Hello, Linda. Oh, we're Linda. Through the spiritual tunnel. Crunch. Yeah, it's actually talking to me right now, and I unfortunately I can't push it through. Oh, they need my help. Ooh. Oh, there's evil here. Of course, there's evil. Uh-oh. Rescue all the spirits held captive of this other world. Okay, so we have a goal. It's good, nice to have a goal while escaping their captors. And now now they're dead. Oh, crunch. That looks like a jump scare. Boop, ba-doop, ba-doop, boop. Okay. This could be good, and this could be really bad, and I'm not sure which is going to be. Preview here that they've got listed up, and it looks a lot like the other one. Wander around the hospital and see what we've got. So we have a game. We have a game that's already violated the first of the horror tropes. Set your game in an abandoned hospital. The other thing is you have a goal that isn't just escape/survive. You actually have something that you need to do here. So that's an upside, kind of. Ah, it's following us. It's chasing us. Apparently we can be really efficient at the whole running away thing. I can see where this might actually. I don't see where this would have a lot of replay value. How about you, Zach? Hello? Did Zach run away on me? Hey, Zach, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. This does not look to me like it would have a whole lot of replay value. It looks like the maps are going to be static, and once you've rescued everything, then you pass on.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure this would have a lot of replay value. If it was cheap, then maybe I would do it.
Yeah.
Like really cheap.
Couple of bucks or so.
Anything up to probably $5. It might be amusing to get just to review it and poke around. They're really wide hallways here. Oh wow. So it's jump scare. So not only are we talking about jump scare / chase central, which is also not great in my opinion. These guys know where everything is, so obviously they're going to. Hey, and actually, it looks like you can go through them without dying up front. You just have to not panic.
Yeah.
So our friend Linda is dead. She's left her body. There's lots of people that are dead. And you have to avoid the capture things like that critter there. You have a health bar that looks like it was stolen from Skyrim.
Ant-Man says this looks like Slender.
Not quite. You're not chasing
Slender
down
Man, I think he means.
Yes, Slender Man. You're not chasing bits of paper. You're chasing other spirits of other people that have gotten stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of people apparently have died in this hospital. Abandoned hospital thing. You're in kind of the limbo of dead, but not quite dead enough.
That's one game I haven't played yet, Slender Man.
Yeah, I haven't wanted to. I didn't even want to look at it. So yeah, that's this could be good. It could be really bad. And what do you think? What do you think, chat? Should I give it? Should I put it? Should I put? What kind of a vote should I put on it? How about you, Zach? Would you put a yes on it or a no?
It might be fun. Yeah, I mean, I'd put a yes on it. I like horror games, so yeah, I'd vote it. Why
Okay.
not?
How about you, Ant-Man? You think I should upvote it or not? To upvote or not to upvote? Currently, well,
If it's $2 or $3, I'd probably buy it. If they want $7.99 for it, hell no.
okay. I'm gonna upvote it. I can always change it later if I feel the urge. Okay, so actually we've run way over time. We had a lot more fun with Greenlight than I expected we were going to, and we've actually got a little overtime. So we should probably wrap this up. Ant-Man is probably just not paying attention.
Yeah, I wasn't there for a second. My wife was talking to me, so sorry about that, guys.
That does happen. That happens to me every once in a while. My wife likes talking to me. She just tends not to do it while I yay green light. Okay, so that's pretty much going to be it today. We've had some fun working on some stuff. He played Slender on his phone. Haven't played it in about a year. Yeah, and he said to upload it. You already did. Because I'll be interested to see how this actually shakes out.
Yeah, chances are good it's going to be crap, but who knows? I mean, it could be the diamond in the rough.
Well, at least they went to the trouble of telling us of giving us a reason why it might have been why it's an abandoned hospital. It doesn't look run down or anything. So it actually makes sense that the story at the hospital would look like it was abandoned.
Yeah. Well, I want to go and thank you guys for joining the stream. We had,
Absolutely.
I think, 8 people in the stream tonight, which is more than I think I've seen in a while, if ever, on this.
Oh, okay. You're having it looks like Ant-Man is having is having a slow internet day, or I'm having a slow upload day or something.
Something, yeah.
You now deserve an Oscar for 2 hours of sleep. Well, I don't know about an Oscar, because acting doesn't involve actually getting out of bed. Well, maybe kind of it does. I don't know. There are some people that can do their acting in their sleep. Will Wheaton and Keanu Reeves come to mind. I think Keanu Reeves is actually acting while he's asleep, because I think it's probably
Ant-Man has a long day tomorrow.
Okay, so
well, you better get some sleep too, Ant-Man.
We're gonna let you go, and we're probably gonna go pick on Dunny here in a minute. So everybody stay frosty. I'll be back again on Monday with part 1 of either a 2 or 3 part stream on something for the somebody that's not quite as intelligent as they think they are. And we're gonna see you next week for this sort of thing on Friday cycle, same bat time, same bat channel.
No.
And
sounds interesting.
We'll see we'll see what the week is. We will see what the week has wrought. All right, guys. We will catch you later, and let's make games fun again.
Absolutely. Game on, guys. Check it out next time. We'll see you next week.